It's Paul Ihander for Game Day Men's Health. Are you low on energy or libido, feeling a bit more sleepy, losing confidence or focus? Discover health solutions and invest in your well-being at Game Day Men's Health. They offer a concierge medical clinic where you can be proactive about your health in a relaxed man cave environment. Explore options like testosterone therapy, ED solutions, weight loss, and peptides. With convenient appointments at 4 locations across the Triangle, it's never been easier to prioritize your health. Visit GameDayRaleigh.com today. Find the spot nearest you and book your free consultation. That's GameDayRaleigh.com.
From the Canes to the Panthers to all of the college sports in the Triangle, we cover it all on the Best of the Drive with Tim Donnelly podcast. Brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score!
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
We went into the Panthers facility, and you mean to tell me one of the greatest Panthers to ever play ain't up nowhere? I'm talking nowhere. Who brought it to my attention? My son. How old is my son, Peggy?
8. He 8 now?
He 8. So as a man, when you have to explain to your son, Daddy, where's your picture?
Yeah.
At this particular point in time, the question was, oh, we don't know if Cam's retired yet. Newsflash, I'm never going to retire. I know I've played my last piece of football. It don't matter to me to officially retire.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
What a dramatic open. My gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Like sands through the hourglass.
All the feels.
Those are the days of our lives.
Of our
Where's McDonald Carey when you need him?
I know.
No,
I don't
you're
have
way
any
too
idea.
young.
I have no idea.
You are way too young to know who that is. Although he is still, I believe, voicing the open to Days of Our Lives.
Oh, okay. Well,
So-
I'm very familiar with that. My mom loved watching that. Probably still does.
He does the open with the like sands through the hourglass. Hi everybody, it's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. That's Victoria, who you have picked up. You have learned something from me, I believe. I'm assuming this.
Oh.
In that there are many times, and by the way, it happens not every day, but a lot of days, where people will say things that they think I know.
Oh.
But I don't.
Right.
And I just laugh at the right time.
Yeah.
Or just casually move on.
Yeah.
So as to not address what I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Just keep it moving.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You try to play it off.
Mm-hmm.
So you reacted exactly as you would when I mentioned McDonald Carey.
Yep.
I have no idea who this person is that Gold just mentioned. And we just keep it moving. You got to learn how to laugh at the right time. I have no idea what the joke is. Or you just casually brush it off. We don't need to get off on a tangent here.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of this other thing over here.
So we used to do a game show, and I half want to bring it back. And I'm not even remembering what the game show was called.
Oh.
And because over on we're just talking. We have no real agenda today.
It's a Friday, even though it didn't sound like it.
Absolutely. No agenda today. So for those people who don't know, we're based in Raleigh, and we have other radio stations here. And Jim Kelly is the Mix 101.5. Well, he's in charge.
Yeah, he does all the music things.
Does the music.
He was also my chauffeur to the luncheon the other day.
Was he really?
He was.
He was. Is that why he wore a tie?
Yes, because he's super fancy.
And I know it was as I was walking out yesterday, I think I saw Jim wearing his tie still. I'm like, you could take it off.
It's fine to take it off now.
It's radio.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a hoodie. And we're on TV. By all means, find us on YouTube.
Right.
YouTube.com/Adam Gold Show. I'll learn how to use this
fine.
mouth here in a minute.
It's okay.
Or 99.9 The Fan. You can find us either way.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. I don't even know what oh, no, so we used to do this game show, and Jim was the voice.
Oh, fun.
Right? No, so it was just an intro that he did. It was good. But what I used to do is that, like, for every time I would say, thank you very much to the big voice, but I would invoke the name of a past, like, deep cut radio voice.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it became like a joke because we don't really have those anymore.
We don't.
So we don't, there's...
Howard Stern's probably the end of...
But it's not even him, because Howard Stern is a talk show host, right?
Yeah.
Although he could do voiceover work, and he probably has at times, but he, so McDonald Carey was he did the intro to the Days of Our Lives.
Yep.
Chuck Caton, who used to do radio for the Hurricanes, the intro to Hurricanes broadcasts on radio were voiced by somebody named Ray Otis, who I actually don't know if it's not a made-up person.
Right.
It might be AI, although it was way too early for AI.
I know. Well, you thought the You've Got Mail guy was AI until I mentioned his passing.
I still don't believe that that's true. I still don't believe that the You Got Mail guy was an actual human being.
It's the Illuminati.
Right. I don't. Because Siri is not real, right?
Yeah.
There's not someone is not Siri.
It's not a little person in there.
So, so Chuck used to go, thank you very much, Ray. Let's see if I can do a Chuck imitation. Thank you very much, Ray Otis. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, I have no idea who Ray Otis is.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I know. That's the problem. I think you could throw out names, but I don't think anybody would know who you're talking about.
All right, we should shut up and start. Let's go. I do want to talk about Cam Newton, though, but we'll get to that in a second. First thing I'm going to say, and my level of interest in the actual event could not be lower. The fight between Logan Paul and Mike Tyson.
Jake Paul.
Mm-hmm. There is a Logan Paul, too.
There is.
Okay.
He's more of a wrestler, I think. I try to get away from these Paul brothers.
Either way.
But
either way. It's Jake Paul?
It's Jake Paul.
Jake from, not the guy from the
not from
insurance
State
company.
Farm.
Okay. So Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, I think they're fighting tonight.
They are. 8:15 or 8 o'clock. It starts.
What? How is there a fight before 11?
It starts like other boxing cards. I'm sure it starts at 8, and then they won't fight until like 11:30.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's what I was getting. Like, no, the main event never happens before 11. They make you wait all day. But they're going to fight, and I have zero interest in the fight, none. Like, I don't care. But what I want is for Mike Tyson to hit Jake Paul so many times in the ribs that he breaks every rib in Jake Paul's body. That's what I don't care if you hit him in the face. I'm not interested in that. I want you to break every one of his ribs. Mm-hmm. I watched a Mike Tyson fight where he knocked out, I believe it was Michael Spinks, with a punch to the chest.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
I hope he does.
That was it.
Multiple times.
If you go back and you look at the Tyson-Michael Spinks fight, I'm not sure Tyson hits him in the face, and the match was over in the first round.
Even better.
So that's what I want. So, but yesterday they had their weigh-in, and Tyson slapped him, and then there's a female bout on the card, and I guess the favorite in the women's bout bet purses with Jake Paul.
Okay.
That Tyson would beat him.
Okay. Well, right now Mike Tyson is plus 165. If for anyone who likes to bet. Just
Do
so you know. Throw a buck on it just for goodwill.
I might. It will officially be the first time I've ever rooted for Tyson in a fight. And there's no joke. I was never one of those Tyson people, but I do recognize that there was a time where he was you couldn't fight him.
I've just had so many people, because they know I'm into like combat sports.
Right.
I've had so many people ask me about this fight. Like Patrick Johnson, before he came on yesterday, we talked for like 5 minutes because he asked me what I thought about it. If it's not rigged, wink, wink, I hope Mike Tyson wins. But keyword, rigged. Jake Paul's not going to sign up for anything he can't control, in my opinion. At least a little bit.
Interesting.
At least a little bit.
Maybe it is rigged. I mean,
He's a clown.
I got nothing for it, which is part of the reason I don't care. But that's what I want to have happen. So if it happens, hit me up on Blue Sky.
Yeah. It's the same handle as your other ones.
No,
right?
It's different.
It's
At
different.
Adam Gold on Blue Sky. Yeah, it's.
Oh, that's right, because there's an imposter, an Adam Gold imposter. Isn't that the
No,
one?
no,
you
it's not
said
an
it was
imposter.
taken?
It's not. It's not that unique a name. So it was taken.
No, there's only one Adam Gold.
No, I've told this story before. Freshman English. I kid you not. I'm in my first English class in college, and the teacher is taking attendance, and she says, Adam Gold, and I raise my hand. And she looked on the other side of the room and made a check. I'm like, what, I'm over here. Then she went, wait, we have two.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, there you go.
Well, let me tell you, I've never had that problem when they've
That
had
is
roll
true.
call in my
It's because you have all the underscores.
underscores.
That's
Yes.
right. All right, let me get back to what we were talking about here. And I don't want to talk about the fight. I don't care about the fight, but it is tonight, and I want Mike Tyson to kill
Please.
Jake Paul. And if
Embarrass
Logan
him.
Paul gets in the way, that's fine.
He might.
All right. So let's call last night a missed opportunity for the Commandos, right? I think it's a fair way to approach it. I don't know that Philadelphia isn't better and maybe significantly better than Washington. And I think if you watch the game, certainly in the second half, the way Philadelphia just ran right through Washington.
Completely.
I think you see, and we've talked about this before, teams that can run the ball, when you know they're going to run the ball, those teams win. And teams that can stop the run, kind of the same thing. Not quite as decisively, but I think if you are really good in those two areas, you probably are a pretty good football team. And that was Philadelphia last night. But I still think that there was a path for Washington to maybe not win that game, but certainly apply enough pressure to Philadelphia where the Eagles could have imploded. And they tried. They missed 2 field goals. They missed an extra point.
Oh, my gosh. And, of course, that kicker's on my fantasy football team.
Oh, boy. Do you lose points if he misses?
Yes.
You
Elliott had me start the week -2. So, finally, he turned things around. But what should have been like 16 points is now 6.
That's good. I know I'm in a fantasy. I'm in 2 fantasy football leagues. One here, but I'm also in a fantasy Premier League football league. And if your player misses a penalty, you lose 2 points.
Yeah, that's how it works with mine.
So I actually had a player score a goal, and if a forward scores a goal, you get 4. So he scored, but it was on a rebound of his missed penalty.
Oh.
So I only got 2 points for it. Anyway, nobody cares. But last night, I thought Washington had their opportunity, and I am not sure. I mentioned this, I think it was last week, maybe the week before. Cliff Kingsbury, who is Washington's offensive coordinator, in his career, go back and look. Whether it's as a head coach, I guess he hasn't really been an offensive coordinator too many places. He's been a head coach a lot. He was a head coach at Texas Tech, and he was also the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And his teams have typically gotten worse throughout the year. Now, in college, a lot of that is due to backloading of schedules. Non-conference schedules, which were typically weak for Texas Tech, helped build big records, and then their more difficult conference games were towards the end, so it could have been that. That does not exist in the NFL, but during his time in Arizona, his teams got worse during the year. Washington's offense seems like it is devolving a little bit. And yesterday, I thought was a classic example of Cliff Kingsbury maybe hitting his head on his own ceiling. So, incredibly unimaginative. They get a 2nd and 1 at the 25 of Philadelphia. It's 12-10 because the Eagles missed an extra point on a go-ahead touchdown. It's 12-10. So, 2nd and 1, you're at the 25. You try 2, who do you think you have? Do you think you have Franco Harris? Do you think you have this bruising fullback who's going to bull his way to a first down? They run it right into the middle of the line twice with Brian Robinson. And then, Jaden Daniels kind of mishandles the snap. They try a quarterback keeper end around. It goes nowhere. All right, we'll get to that fourth down play in a second. But if you know you're going to go on fourth down, which is what they did, then either the 2nd and 1 or the 3rd and 1 plays has to be something else than that. Has to be something else than that. If you know you're going to go, or even on 2nd and 1, that's the perfect time to take a shot to the end zone when you're at the 25-yard line. So unimaginative. Now let me get to the decision to go for it on fourth down. Because I think it was early in the fourth quarter at that point. It was early in the fourth. Might have been late third quarter, early fourth, whatever. You have an opportunity to take the lead on a field goal. Now, I understand why maybe you say, well, we're not going to win this game by kicking field goals. I get it. In the first quarter, sure. Second quarter, sure. But now we're into the latter quarter of the game. And if you have an opportunity to take the lead, it's not a long field goal. You're at the 25-yard line. Actually, I think at that point they might have been at the 26. It's a 43-yard field goal. These are chip shots for NFL kickers. Even though we have seen a lot of missed kicks. We have seen a lot of kicks. But, I mean, at worst, it's like a 70% chance you're going to make it. You have a chance to take the lead in a football game. There's no guarantee that Philadelphia isn't going to vomit all over their opportunity to win this game. They've done that before. And you go for it, and then you run that play, and I'm just thinking, why didn't you take the lead? Sometimes, and this is a Dan Quinn. I almost said Dan Campbell, because remember Dan Campbell? Last year they did a similar thing, didn't they? Anyway.
I did.
Actually, I don't remember the circumstances about Dan Campbell. I know there are Lions fans who go, no, it was the opposite. Maybe it was. Dan Quinn has done such a great job with this team. But that was an opportunity to put your team in the lead and apply pressure. And here's what happened ultimately. They didn't get it. Philadelphia went right down the field and scored a touchdown. And when they did finally make an extra point, they were 9 points ahead. Sometimes you have to think about, all right, what happens if? All right, so we kick the field goal, we go up 13-10. Worst case scenario, Philadelphia scores a touchdown. We're still in the ballgame. Now you got to get 2 scores. I just wish that they had done a better job. First of all, the fourth down play here is Jaden Daniels.
I got to be louder with the cadence, so I take fault on that. Tyler probably didn't hear me, so it was a delay with the little snap. So if it gets loud down there, we're under center, especially in that type of situation, that part of the game, so I just have to be louder.
All right, so the snap, he didn't handle it properly. I didn't know that it was didn't look low to me. Anyway, here's Dan Quinn on the play, and maybe that being the end of the game.
Biggest play, obviously, to go for it, and fourth down and 2 at the 26. Bold call, but I would also say we were prepared for that moment. Don't love the execution, but we've been an excellent fourth down team. So going into it, we knew we'd have to take our shots against a tough division team on the road. We thought that was an appropriate one. Certainly don't like the execution and the result, but we were prepared for that and being bold into those moments, knowing we'd have some fourth downs. But that's one we can fix. Thought third down on both sides was tough, especially offensively tonight. A game like this puts you through the resilience. And love to say that the season's going to go all along smoothly, but the adversity comes and hits. Like I said, tough division game on the road.
I appreciate that he said it was a bold call. I would have used a different adjective. All right, on the win itself, Damian Woody of ESPN.
Huge win, because I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are now 2 games up in that division. Mm-hmm. So to be able to get a divisional game at your place against an up-and-coming Washington Commanders team, big win for the Philadelphia Eagles. And listen, as much as we've been talking about the Detroit Lions in the NFC, mm-hmm. we better start talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, because you're talking about just personnel. Who has better personnel than the Philadelphia Eagles right now? No one. Nobody has better personnel, and they're playing some really good football.
They won 6 in a row. It's a game and a half, by the way, over Washington. But, Philadelphia having won that game, Washington, to bring it even, will have to win the return game in D.C., or actually in Landover, Maryland, coming up in a few weeks. But, yeah, it opens up a cushion. So, but I think that it was probably a Washington, not an own goal, because what Damian Woody said is true. Philadelphia's got a dynamite team.
Yeah.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is playing at a high level.
No, and he even got a little banged up last night.
He always does.
I was concerned for them going into halftime. He was under the tent, so I don't know.
All right, let me just move on to East Carolina, who has won 3 in a row. Way to go, Pirates.
Look at this streak.
38-31. So this game was kind of nutty. First of all, there was tons of offense from both sides. There were big plays on both sides. There were bonehead plays on both sides. Like Caton Hauser, the quarterback for the Pirates. He threw an interception on a pick six that it was clearly miscommunication. But even if it was miscommunication, even if the receiver stopped for a little quick out, it was going to be a pick six because the defensive back looked like the intended receiver. It was horribly bad. All 3 of his interceptions were complete. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, he also made some great throws. And Rajai Harris, who I think has been at East Carolina for 8 years, was a monster in the fourth quarter. Great win for the Pirates. Bowl eligibility, 38-31 win. They have won 3 in a row, so good for them. All right, now let's spend our last few minutes on Cam Newton.
My dude.
Yeah, who's becoming a media star. I'm watching him right now. Again, he's on my television every day, it seems. His hat is somewhat subdued. He's wearing a bow tie today.
Oh, fancy.
Cam is just mwah.
Yeah.
Everything that I wish I could hear him.
I know. I miss Cam.
I don't know if he talks in that font. I don't.
He might. I think sometimes.
So, I love Cam. Anyway, we played the clip at the beginning. I want to play this clip again of Cam. This is him doing, it's his show, 4th and 1, I believe is the name of it, on his own YouTube channel. And he is discussing the fact that he has basically been forgotten by the Panthers.
Can I be vulnerable real quick?
Yeah.
All right. People don't know this story, but I'm going to tell it. I don't have no quarrel with David Tepper. I don't have no quarrel with nobody in the Panthers organization. I speak my mind unbiasedly, no matter who and what franchise it is. Last year, we had a 7-on-7 tournament in Charlotte.
Correct.
We went into the Panthers facility. And you mean to tell me one of the greatest Panthers to ever play ain't up nowhere? I'm talking nowhere. Who brought it to my attention? My son. How old is my son, Peggy?
8. Yeah, 8 now.
He 8. So as a man, when you have to explain to your son, Daddy, where's your picture?
Yeah.
At this particular point in time, the question was, we don't know if Cam's retired yet. Newsflash, I'm never going to retire. I know I've played my last piece of football. It don't matter to me to officially retire.
So, it is interesting that the organization has not honored him in any way, shape, or form. That he is not omnipresent around, since, I don't know if he might live in Atlanta, but he obviously spent some time in Charlotte. I don't know I honestly don't know where he lives. For all I know, he lives in California. I really don't know. But let me just ask this question. Has the Panthers, as a football entity, ever been relevant And I'm not talking about good. There are good teams that are not relevant. Like, to be honest, as good as Detroit is, I'm not sure they're relevant. Probably have to win a Super Bowl to be relevant. Right now, they're awesome, but I don't know about relevant. When the Panthers had Cam Newton, didn't matter what their record was. They were box office. They were the attraction when they had Cam Newton. He was must-see TV. I still can't believe they ended that era prematurely. And then all you needed to know, when Cam came back, was it year 2 of the Matt Rule era?
I believe so. They were playing the Washington Commanders, I think they were the Washington football team.
He started that game.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Rivera was already the head coach, right? He started that game, but he came back. The first game was in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in the game just at the goal line, scored 2 touchdowns. He had like 2 plays, 2 touchdowns, and fans lost it.
Dabbed on him.
Lost it.
Love it.
So let me ask this question. Would you describe the Panthers fan base as strong, durable, always there? Would you describe it as that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do they check out at the end of seasons?
Yes, and as a fan, I can say that they do.
Yep.
They don't give us a lot to stick around for.
Are they massive in numbers?
No.
So all of those questions bring up answers that would lead me to say the Panthers should embrace the best that their organization has ever produced. I would levy the exact same criticism to the Carolina Hurricanes. But the Hurricanes, for the most part, not always, for the most part, do embrace their history.
Yeah.
Right? Well, they can, like, especially if you weren't being, if the Panthers were great year in and year out, you can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're bad, you better remind your fan base how great it used to be. And this is where the Panthers completely dropped the ball. That is a fumble. One that, I'll say the joke for you, that Cam Newton can't fall on.
David Tepper. Yeah. No, and as a fan, as a legit fan who I will love them even if they're garbage forever, unfortunately, I loved Cam, and I feel like they should emphasize him more.
Gosh, it is incredible. That guy, especially if he's willing to be around.
Yeah. I mean, he cared so much about the community, too. People gave him so much grief about his personality, whatever. You know what? He balled out.
The stuff he did for kids?
He deserved it. Yeah, he was so much a part of that community. He cared about, he loved the team. Like I've said before, he was a leader. He was the quarterback the Panthers needed. And this is why I don't really care for Bryce. Nice guy, but he's not Cam Newton.
Oh, he
never will be.
That is unfair to Bryce. Unfortunately, I mean, that's just unfair to Bryce.
Yeah, it's not directed at him.
He doesn't have that personality.
No, it's not directed at him. It's more directed at the Panthers for not picking a quarterback suited for the team.
He just doesn't have. He could be the greatest quarterback in the league. Seriously, Bryce could be that guy. He can't be Cam. Cam just had personality.
You can't go from Cam to Bryce.
Yeah, plus the hats. All right, when we come back, Brian Geisinger, our NBA, our basketball guru, on the 3 locals, a little bit about the Hornets, and we'll see what else comes up next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk, Panthers Playbook, the Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Officially a 36-yarder. Jansen snap. Hecker's hold. Pinero's kick. It is up, and Eddie wins it for the Panthers in OT.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics, and proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
The Ram Black Friday sales event is going on now, with great deals on a wide selection of powerful and dependable Ram trucks. Right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for this Black Friday offer. $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 12/2/24.
Pinch me, because lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself this fall. #Ale Yeah.
Experience Hendrix. Music's great. Perform the music of Jimi Hendrix together live. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Christone Kingfish Ingram, Zach Wilde, Eric Johnson, Devin Allman, Samantha Fish, Noah Hunt, Ali Venable, Chuck Campbell and Calvin Cook of the Slide Brothers, Mato Nanji, Dylan Triplett, Henry Brown, Chris Layton, Kevin McCormick. April 6th at DPAC. Tickets on sale now at dpacnc.com.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
This holiday season, Zero Res is hosting a food drive. When you get 3 rooms cleaned and donate non-perishable food, they'll clean a 4th room for free. Visit ZeroResRaleigh.com or call 919-995-0000.
This is Adam Gold.
Home runs are homers, not dingers, not jacks, not bombs. Can I use tater?
I know. Can we say going yard?
Oh, yes.
Right?
If we can't exaggerate, if we can't use colorful, flowery metaphors and descriptions, why are we here?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Welcome to your Friday. Coming up, we have no Panthers game this weekend.
I know.
So there are no keys. There will be no paw prints, but there will be one-timers. So we've got that, which is our regularly scheduled programming anyway, in that segment. So we'll do one-timers coming up top of the hour, before the top of the hour. At top of the hour, we're starting a new segment. The 10 games you have to see this weekend ranked in order.
Oh.
10 to 1.
This is a good weekend because there's a lot of good games.
Yes, we do have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 games you must see this weekend in order. But let's now bring in our basketball guru, maven, the man who knows more about the sport than anybody I know. Brian Geisinger, you should check out Split the Action on Substack. I don't promote that enough. That is an incredible basketball. If you are a basketball freak, this is what you need to read. BuzzBeat podcast, 24/7 Sports. I've promoted everything, Brian. Let's go. I want to start with the game that I watched Tuesday night. I want to start with Duke and Kentucky. Now, I wasn't trying to take, credit away from the Wildcats, who I thought played a really good game, and I thought they played their best at the beginning of the second half and in the first 2 minutes of the second half and the last 2 minutes of the second half. But I really thought that was as much about two things for Duke. The first being they missed a ton of open looks, not just threes. They missed some open layups, too. And the other thing about it was I thought they were very predictable. It was Cooper Flagg, go create. If you can't make a shot, give it to Con Knipple. How did you see, especially the second half, how did you see that?
Yeah, kind of a bit of a mixed bag. I thought they went pretty heavy into sort of like the matchup chasing stuff that you're alluding to. I mean, Kentucky started to switch a lot more in the second half. Kentucky also downsized at times in the second half and basically played four guards around Andrew Carr at times and then leaned into switching even more with that. And, yeah, I think if you have a guy like Cooper, it's probably pretty tempting to just sort of like press those buttons, like he's the best player on the court. But in part of that probably also like deflates the turnover numbers too. Like Duke only had 7 turnovers in the game, but it does make you like a little bit more predictable. It allows the defense to sort of like keep the ball in front when it's switching like that, and kind of like contest as much as they can. The one play that really I rewatching the game, I didn't have too many issues with like any single play except for the last one. When the game was tied after the timeout with about 30 seconds left or so.
Yeah.
And Flagg initiated up top. Andrew Carr, who's an excellent defender from his Wake Forest days, is guarding him one-on-one. And they had 3 different guys run up and sort of like set these little ghost slip screens where they would go up like they were going to screen for him and then they would slip out. And it was Brown, I think Proctor, and then Knipple. And, they didn't move the defense at all. So it really was ultimately just like a pure isolation possession. That was the one play that I would have loved to have seen maybe like a little bit more action. And I guess maybe if you set a ball screen for Cooper, they're going to blitz it or whatever. But then if you're Duke, you probably take your chances with that because someo's open on the back end.
Well, it didn't really matter if someone was open. He wasn't giving up the ball.
Yeah, but maybe that too. But the injuries, the cramps for Kamon Malawatch, that was that hurt a little bit. I thought the injury to Sion James, hopefully he's okay. I mean, Duke really needs him, especially for some of these big games coming up, and he's such an important player for them with his, he's pressure for them on both sides of the floor, either pressure at the point of attack defensively or his ability to get downhill and get to the rim. Even in the limited minutes against Kentucky, we saw that on display. And Caleb Foster had an interesting game. Like, I thought all 4 of the threes he took were like within rhythm of the offense or on little like kick out, put back opportunities. Mm-hmm. Couldn't stick any of them. I thought he got downhill for a couple of nice finishes in the first half, and then in the second half, he just looked like a little tentative in the pick and roll. And they need him. They need him to be a driver for them, especially if James is missing. Is going to miss time. And I'm also willing to bet that's going to be the worst offensive game Knipple has all season.
Right.
Like that, he's too good of a player. And he missed, some open looks along the 3-point line and missed some shots at the rim that were well contested and well defended. But, Kentucky was physical and has a lot of length. And then if I could just tack in one more thing, I wrote about this at 247 Sports in my little film breakdown, but I thought Duke's transition defense at times, and especially in the second half, it wasn't terrible or appallingly bad, but there were probably my guess is there were probably 3 times that Kentucky scored because Duke didn't have good floor balance offensively, and then when a long rebound happened, Kentucky was able to get out and run, or Duke didn't communicate matchups and sort of those semi-fast break, secondary fast break situations, and Kentucky was either able to get a layup or draw a foul or something like that. And that's just some small stuff to sort of iron out, but in a game that was basically a coin toss If you're trying to find things to sort of point to, I thought the transition defense for Duke, again, it wasn't terrible, but just like probably needs to tighten up a little bit.
All right, let's touch on the Tar Heels, because the last time we spoke, North Carolina had not yet played at Allen Fieldhouse. And tale of two halves, really a tale of 19 minutes and then 21 minutes. Because I thought the way North Carolina closed the first half to go from 20 to 15 was probably a significant just kind of hedge on that 20-point first half deficit. What did you like about the fact that they were able to come back and actually take a lead? I think they had a 4-point lead at one point, with 3 or 4 minutes to go.
The offense really sort of came alive, and the guards were awesome. Seth Trimble, amazing game.
Yeah.
For UNC to get 31 free throw attempts in Allen Fieldhouse, it speaks to those guys being able to pressure with their dribble and get to the line a ton. Obviously, Trimble was pretty amazing from the line in that game. But I don't know, UNC, there's a lot of talent on this roster. I'm excited to see hopefully more from Jalen Washington in the front court, and obviously from Drake Powell and Ian Jackson. But I don't know. I thought ultimately, it's certainly not a bad loss. You'd like to be able to pull it out if you're going to come all the way back from the deficit. But UNC, it's crazy that they haven't played since that game either, too. I guess they're back in action tonight. But I thought ultimately plenty of positives to take away from that game, and namely that Cadeau and Trimble, it's only been 2 games this season, but those guys have been very impressive, and I think that is notable in the longer term.
And, it was funny because in the first game they were impressive, and they made combined 6 out of 8 threes. In this game, they were impressive, and neither shot the 3-ball well at all. In fact, Cadeau reminded me of last year's Cadeau shooting the 3. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing, though, about that to me was that even without the three-point shot last year, I thought Cadeau was still a hugely impactful player, and I thought he had a great game. I can watch Seth Trimble play basketball all day long. R.J. Davis, you say Con Knippel probably won't play a worse offensive game. I don't know that Davis was bad offensively. He just missed a ton of shots. So I don't think you'll see too many of those from R.J. Davis. My one fear about North Carolina is that when they can be abused in the middle.
It's a different day, without Armando Bacot. He was for half a decade, and you think about some of the late Roy Williams teams that, had Walker Kessler and Day'Ron Sharp. And there was so much front court power for them, for so long. It's definitely a different look. Maybe not quite as physical in the middle. I still like the talent they have in the front court with Withers and Washington and in Lubin. I still think there's a lot of power there, but just not quite the same from a physicality standpoint.
Brian Geisinger is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Also does a lot of work for Pack Pride. So let me, end this segment with talking about State, since it's hard to get a read for me as to where they are. They haven't played anybody very good yet. They have allowed 70 points in the last 2 games. They're 3-0. But they've allowed 70 points to 2 teams. Are they 3-0? I think 2-0. Whatever they are, they've allowed 70 points in the last 2 games, and maybe that's not good. Kevin Keats talked about it after the last game. When you have watched them, and I don't know if we're going to get a good read against Colgate on Monday, but where do you think their strength lies?
Yeah, so far they've been getting crushed on the defensive glass too. That's been sort of the one thing to really circle, is that opponents are rebounding over 37% of their misses against State, and that sort of sticks out as a pretty ugly number for them. But so far, you're just not going to know much about State until 2 weeks from now when they play Purdue and then Texas. Right now, this is good for them, sort of extended. You don't want to call it maybe don't want to call it extended preseason, but
it is.
This kind of is that to an extent. All these teams are outside they're all sort of mid majors outside the top 200 nationally, and that's a good extended stretch for State. I think so far, I think Marcus Hill has looked really nice as a driver. creative driver. Like, I feel a little bit better about State's offense having another guy who can sort of like create off the bounce and force defenders to bend and move. He can get into the paint. He's not like super explosive, but really crafty driver. I mean, we'll see where the shot ends up. I think O'Connell has been awesome so far. I think Dontre Styles is like a perfect fit for the sort of like small ball 4 role that's been like a priority position for State under Kevin Keatts. I'm really curious to see like where some of these other guys with upside, underclassmen with upside end up. Like Dennis Parker Jr., he missed the game against Presbyterian with an ankle injury. He comes back. What's Paul McNeil Jr.'s role going to be? He obviously has a ton of talent. What does Trey Parker's role looks like? Bryce Hurd. Like, it's good that these guys sort of have some games to kind of get a bit of a feel for things. So I think there are some interesting upside pieces on the roster. I'm just right now, it does feel like there's a significance of lean on the returners or the sort of like veteran transfers. So I don't know. I kind of get the feeling that the team is going to look different as the season continues to evolve.
I think that happened last year. And then at the end of the season, it went back, right, when they got in that run. Because there was a time last year where they sort of were like not using DJ Burns as much. And then when we got to the tournament, it became all about DJ Burns. Brian Geisinger, 24/7 Sports Buzzbeat Podcast, Split the Action on Substack. Thank you, man. I will talk to you next week.
Yeah, and hey, if I can put out just a quick word.
Sure.
My mom's boyfriend Tim is going through some surgery today, serious surgery today. So he's a fan of the show, big sports fan, and
okay.
Just try to put out as many good vibes as I can for him right now.
Positive vibes.
Yeah, if anyone out there's got good vibes or thoughts, prayers, you name it, we're taking them. So
all right.
If you guys have a good weekend, and thanks again for having me back on.
All right, shout out to him.
Yep.
Give me his name. Give me his name again. I'm old.
Tim. Yeah, Tim.
Tim. Shouts to Tim.
Yep.
All right, Tim.
All right, guys,
go get him.
take it easy, okay?
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Shouts to Tim. Positive vibes to Tim for the rest of the day and into the weekend. All right, when we come back, one time, no paw print because there's no game for the Panthers this weekend. The NFL gets this weekend off because they've won 2 in a row. All right, so we'll do one-timers next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Oh, the NBA is back, and FanDuel is America's #1 sports book for a reason, because they want you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you got to do to catch every tip-off, every buzzer beater, every dunk is place any $5 wager on the NBA and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel and me. FanDuel.com/AGS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. After 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, we believe that getting to know you is the best way to protect what you love most. We have friendly agents in every county to help you prepare for the unexpected. And when life doesn't go as planned, our award-winning claims team will be with you every step of the way. Find a local agent today at ncfbins.com. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a Generac home standby generator. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. If you own land that may be converted from agricultural use, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services may be able to help. Grants for the purchase of development rights are available through the North Carolina Agricultural Development and Farmland Preservation Trust Fund. Landowners can learn more at ncadfp.org.
Having health insurance is important. So, if you or anyone in your family has Medicaid or CHIP, listen up. Check your mail for a renewal form from your state. Complete the form and mail it back right away so you don't lose your coverage. If you do lose Medicaid or CHIP, visit healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in a low-cost, quality health plan. Keep your family covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Psst. Hello there. It's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we've got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
It's that time of year when we pack our bags for exciting adventures with friends and family. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most by getting your flu and COVID vaccines. They're safe and effective. Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated. So make sure you don't miss that flight and protect those around you. Ask your healthcare provider for your updated flu and COVID-19 shots. Don't wait. Get your updated shots today.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
This is Adam Gold.
Home runs are homers, not dingers, not jacks, not bombs. Can I use tater?
I know. Can we say going yard?
Oh, yes.
Right?
If we can't exaggerate, if we can't use colorful, flowery metaphors and descriptions, why are we here?
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program, top of the hour. The best 10 games of the weekend, which starts tonight, ranked. And you can watch them all, I think. Not everybody can watch them all, but we have access to all of them. But right now, as we always do in this segment, except when the Panthers are playing a game on Sunday, which they are not, it's time for one-timers.
I know, and Panthers won't even come up in this, I don't think. We've got a handful of different stuff. So first and foremost, some people who are watching us on the YouTube stream.
Hi.
We appreciate you. I've been listening, reading, I guess I should say, and a lot of people are talking about Freddie Anderson. So what is going on with him?
Nothing. I mean, it's the same that is always with Freddie. I don't know what happened to him to cause the injury. It happened during was it the game in Edmonton? Might have been the game in Edmonton, I'm not sure. But he came out of the game banged up. And we haven't seen him since. And we have no idea when we're going to see him. I will talk to Rod Brindamore before the game tomorrow against the Ottawa Senators. And I will ask the head coach, are we closer to Freddie's return? The last time I asked him, I got a nope. I said, is Anderson closer to coming back? Nope. So we don't know. We don't know.
Okay. Well, moving on to the NFL.
Seth Jarvis would be the more pressing return. Although we don't know the status of Kochetkov either.
Poor Jarvie. Love him. Moving on to the NFL. So last night, this is coming from me who had Elliott on her fantasy league. So can whether a team going to the Super Bowl come down to whether your kicker is good or not?
Ask the San Francisco 49ers. Ask the Eagles. I mean, that Moody kid from... I didn't know. Maybe he's a Moody kicker.
Yeah, he came back from being injured for.
He missed 3.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't sure they were, and the game winner didn't make it by a lot.
No, he was wide right for each one that he missed.
So no, he had one where he just absolutely duck hooked it. It looked like one of my drives on a par 5. When, man, all you got to do is put it in the fairway and you have a chance to hit the green in 2. It was just gross. Yes, the answer is yes. You can absolutely blow it by not having a good kicker.
Yeah, that's not good for the Eagles. Well, looking at the Colts, they are starting Andy Richardson this weekend is back on the field. So, do you think this is a good idea for the Colts, or should they keep him benched and learn from Flacco?
Learn from who? If Flacco.
I mean,
I don't know. Here's the thing. They weren't winning.
Bad.
They really weren't winning with Flacco either.
Yeah. Andy's bad.
So if you're not gonna win, you make your decision. Is Anthony Richardson going to be our quarterback? And I think they have to go, yeah. This is the same thing we would say if you take the exact same situation with the Panthers and apply it to the Colts. The answer is, yeah, he plays. We got to find out what he is. Because you're not going to find out with him not playing, and last year was a lost year because of injury anyway. So, yes, he has to play.
All right. Well, there's a lot of rumors about Deion Sanders potentially being the Cowboys' next head coach. So, yay or nay?
I think Deion is a good coach. I do. I think he's a good coach. Do I think he can be the Cowboys' head coach? Here's the problem. Is there room for those two egos?
No.
So, my guess is it will not be Deion Sanders in Dallas.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders can be a coach. I don't know if he's good enough to be an NFL head coach, but it ain't gonna. I mean, I shouldn't say it isn't, but maybe it is. But I don't see Deion Sanders and Jerry Jones coexisting. I will give you the 10 best games for this weekend, and I will rank them for you. Coming up next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And every Friday night, they prove why they are America's #1 sportsbook to NBA fans with a bigger payout in NBA first bets, because a lot of us have plans on a Friday night. I actually have a youth soccer event. So you can bet on things like who's going to score the first basket and so on and so forth, and then go about the rest of your day, and you don't have to be around till the end of the game. FanDuel.com/AdamGold and claim your Friday first profit boost. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Experience our Raleigh tradition. Head to Amedio's Italian Restaurant, a family favorite for over 60 years. From weekly specials to their famous homemade recipes, Amedio's uses only the freshest ingredients. Need a touchdown for your tailgate? Amedio's offers delicious takeout, perfect for cheering on the Wolfpack. Or they can host your private party. Amedio's even caters. Amedio's Italian Restaurant, Raleigh's Taste of Italy since 1963. Visit AmediosRestaurant.com for details.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton, and people often ask me, what is the Good Feet store? A shoe store? I respond, we are an art support store. Haven't you spent enough time trying different shoes and all the disposable products that are supposed to make your feet feel better? Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. Plans start at $50 per month. Learn more at lumosfiber.com/next.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Right now, save 50% off all window styles, plus 0 interest for 5 years. Hurry, sale ends November 30th, so schedule an in-home estimate at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
Wilson throwing, end zone, right side. It is caught for the touchdown. George Pickens went up and got it. Wilson heaves one, left side. It's caught. Touchdown. It's Mike Williams, the newest member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, a 32-yard catch. Williams' first catch in a Steelers uniform, maybe for the go-ahead touchdown.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. That was from Monday nights. Was it Monday night? Was Pittsburgh played Monday night? I don't even remember. I don't remember.
I know.
Of all the days run. That was for Pittsburgh's last win, and it was a big one when the Steelers won. Oh, maybe that was the game against Washington. So maybe that was a Sunday night game. I don't know. I don't know. This Monday night. Remember yesterday we were doing a top 5, bottom 5 in the NFL, and I had forgotten where Dallas was playing this week, and I knew Dallas was playing. And one of the reasons they were the worst team, it was because, well, at home, they are minus 94 in point differential. And this coming Monday, they will be at home to the Houston Texans. I fully expect the Texans to run up the score.
Yes, they need to do something.
Well, whether they need to do it or not, Dallas is hopeless, and especially at home, yes. And honestly, you hate to see it. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Normally we would just rerun the top stories of the day, but we're going to do something a little different on a Friday. We're going to get you ready for the week. 10 games. I went 10 games and then showed 5 fingers. I'm so good at this.
Multiply it by 2. Just
10 games ranked in order, and you can watch. Here we go. Ooh.
Music and everything.
Very nice. All right, we'll start at number 10. Men's college basketball. New Mexico at St. John's. Wait a second, Adam. Why the heck would I care about this? I'm not saying you should care about it. But what I am saying is that at noon on Sunday on FS1, you can watch Richard Pitino coach against his dad, Rick Pitino. His dad is at St. John's. They are a top 25 team. New Mexico, don't have any clue if they're good or not, but it is Pitino v. Pitino. And it's just the 10th ranked game of the week. Sue me. All right, number 9. I have an ulterior motive for this. Two, actually. Missouri at South Carolina. SEC football, which, by the way, you can watch at 4:15 on Saturday on the SEC network. There are roughly 34 SEC teams that can finish the season with just 2 conference losses. I am rooting for as many of those teams to finish with 2 losses as possible. Missouri beating South Carolina is one of the things that needs to happen. Missouri has just 2 league losses. I believe South Carolina has 3. Here's the thing, though. I actually want South Carolina to win from an ACC perspective. I want South Carolina to have as good a record as possible when Clemson plays them. It becomes a more significant win for the Tigers if they are fortunate enough to get it. I am not in any... Clemson could lose to Pitt on Saturday and ruin all of this, but I do think it's an interesting game. So there you go. Number 9. Number 8, we go to the NBA. Lakers at the Spurs coming up on tonight, actually, at 7:30 on ESPN. So LeBron James opens his defense of last year's league in-season tournament title. I realize that there's about 10% of the people who care about the NBA in-season tournament. I am in the 10%. I actually think it's very cool. The Lakers clearly wanted to win last year. It was the first one. I think LeBron really wanted to get his name on the title for the first one. They played great. They didn't have a great regular season, but they certainly played well in this in-season tournament, which, by the way, is going to end in like 3 weeks. It's pretty rapid fire. The semifinals and finals are in Vegas like the second weekend in December. But also, they're playing out the Spurs, and Victor Wembanyama just scored 50 points in a game. So we might be watching like fully operational Wemby. And I'm sorry, when you could see something like that, it's worth your time. That's number 8. Number 7. Alabama at Purdue in men's basketball, 7 o'clock tonight on Peacock. I mean, if you're a Premier League fan like I am, I have Peacock. You might have already bought it because you needed to watch whatever NFL game was stuck only on Peacock. By the way, there will be a playoff game on Peacock, exclusively on Peacock this year again. But not only is this a top 15 college basketball matchup, recent Final Four teams, last year Purdue, 2 years ago Alabama, but each will play one of our schools in the next couple of weeks. Scouting. Alabama and North Carolina will play. Purdue and NC State will play. Have at it. Watch a good college basketball game without giving a rat's who wins. But at the same time, you're watching and take notes. If we're going to beat this guy, this team, we got to stop this guy. Come on. Be a coach. Number 6, we go to the NHL. Winnipeg is at Florida. This is tomorrow night. On ESPN Plus, if you're an ESPN Plus subscriber, you get all the NHL games out of market. This is out of market. Like, you need to have a deal with FanDuel Sportsnet to get the Hurricanes. But on ESPN Plus, if you are a subscriber, you get all the NHL games, which is cool. So the Jets are coming off their second loss of the season. They just lost last night 4-1 at Tampa. And the Panthers, back-to-back nights on home ice. My guess is this is a rescheduled game from New Jersey, and I have no idea, or if it was scheduled to be played on back-to-back nights in Florida. Maybe it was, I don't know. Back-to-back nights in Florida, Devils beat the Panthers. And they beat the brakes off the Panthers twice in a row. Jets are obviously great. We know the Panthers are as well. So, interesting game, 7 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN+. Number 5, Suns at Thunder tonight, 8 o'clock. I think you're going to need the NBA League Pass for this. I'm not 100% sure. I don't see it listed anywhere else. You've got two of the best teams in the league. The Suns are 9-3. Kevin Durant's healthy. The Thunder are 10-2. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best three players in the league. Unfortunately, Chet Holmgren, as Bomani Jones, my friend, will say, tall man, not big man, super skilled, but injured, will not play. But Oklahoma City is excellent. And they are, this is the first first Thunder game in the NBA in-season tournament, the NBA Cup. Now, all games on Tuesday and Friday in the NBA are League Cup matches, games. So they count not only in the regular standings, but also in the NBA's in-season tournament standings. So this is Phoenix won their first game. They beat Utah. And this is the first game for Oklahoma City in this tournament. And it will be obviously the second for Phoenix. So they're in the same group. That's pretty good. By the way, I didn't mention that, but it's the same thing with the Lakers and the Spurs. That is an NBA Cup match as well. All right, moving on. Number 4. And this is not because equal time. This is because I think this game has the opportunity to be an absolute banger tonight. 6 o'clock, UConn at UNC women's basketball on ESPN2. UConn, aside from being the second-ranked team in the country, has maybe the best player in America, unless we say it's Juju Watkins at USC. But Paige Beckers is amazing, and that should be a great game. Second-ranked team in town. If you can't go, ESPN2 at 6 o'clock. All right, number 3. Chiefs at Bills. Kansas City, who has done a lot of playing with their food but is still 9-0. Buffalo, which hasn't yet really beaten anybody worth it, I still think is great. However, no Dalton Kincaid. No Keon Coleman, the rookie from Florida State. Amari Cooper is a game-time decision. What's Josh Allen doing here?
Exactly.
Who's Josh Allen throwing to?
Himself.
So can he do that? So, I mean, if they can work it out, I mean, I trust Josh Allen. I just wonder, everything is stacked against the Bills here. Defense isn't quite as good as we have seen Bills defenses in the past. Kansas City is getting away with it. They just know how to win football games. Something tells me that Josh Allen figures it out and puts the team on his back and drags them to a win. But that's more because at some point, Kansas City isn't going to get away with this. They've got to figure it out. But right now, Kansas City is the healthier team. But that game, 1 o'clock on CBS. Because there's no Panthers game, I'm not sure if CBS isn't going to give us the greatest doubleheader. Us here, the best doubleheader we have seen all year. Right. Number 2 is the other part of that doubleheader. Ravens at Steelers, also a game on CBS. Now, Baltimore at Pittsburgh would be an amazing game anyway. Does it make a difference if both of these teams are great? If one is and the other is bad, doesn't matter. Baltimore-Pittsburgh always delivers. But now you got an opportunity to see the Steelers, who are in first place, against the Ravens, who are in second place. This first one is in Pittsburgh, and the Steelers are, right now with Russell Wilson, showing at least the threat of a passing offense, and just talk to Washington about the threat of a passing offense, because it burned them, especially late with the Russell Wilson moonball to Mike Williams. But this gives us, I think, the best game of the weekend. Two teams that know each other well, two head coaches. I mean, think about in an NFL game, a divisional game where two coaches have been around as long as John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. It's just awesome. I can't. If this isn't a final possession football game. It has it written all over it.
For sure.
All right. And number one. By the way, again, I think I said CBS 4:15 on Sunday. Saturday night, ABC 7:30, Tennessee at Georgia. So, not to highlight the Southeastern Conference, but this is more about playoff implications. Tennessee has one loss. It's a bad one at Arkansas. And bad, it's all relative. They have shown themselves to be plucky. Arkansas has, but they're not going anywhere this year. Tennessee has the win over Alabama. They don't have anything else on their resume. Sorry, NC State hasn't cooperated to make that a good win. So Tennessee, with a win, is pretty much guaranteed not only a spot in the SEC championship game, but they're pretty much guaranteed a spot in the playoff. A loss, and it puts them in a precarious position. Yes, the home win over Alabama would matter. And I think it matters more than the loss at Arkansas. But with two losses, you then are left to the mercy of the committee. Georgia, who has two losses, including the one just last week at Ole Miss, and the Alabama loss, does have a win at Texas. So they're good. If they get this win, I mean, even if they were to lose in the SEC title game, the nature of that loss would go a long way to determine whether or not Georgia still made the playoff or not. I think they would. I've said this before. I think Georgia will get in with 3 losses, depending on what that third loss is, especially if they win this game. If Georgia were to win this game and then lose in the SEC title game, I think Georgia, if you have beaten Tennessee and Texas on the road, I think you're in. Just think you're in. So, I mean, maybe that's biased because I've seen Georgia. I've seen Georgia at their best. I haven't seen them at their worst. Chip Patterson was absolutely pooping on them yesterday, or 2 days ago.
Yes, 2 days ago.
Right. He was just like, got no time for Georgia's offense right now. And he knows way more about it than I, so I'm not arguing with him. But I think if just based on the resume, if Georgia wins a game, I think as long as their loss comes in the SEC title game, I think they're in. But it is going to be interesting to watch how the SEC kind of cannibalizes itself over the last 3 weeks of the regular season. So that is a game worth your time. There you go. The top 10 games this weekend ranked. And I also told you where you can find them.
I know.
Except for that second NBA game, which I'm not really sure.
Right.
I think you're going to have the league pass.
Google's great.
All right, yes. When we come back, Taylor Tannebaum of the ACC Network. She will join us. We'll talk about Clemson and Pittsburgh and others in the ACC next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at Diamonds Direct Crabtree. They are the best place to get her what she really wants this holiday season. And yes, I know we haven't even carved a turkey yet, but the holiday season is here. The gift buying season is here. We've already had Black Friday sales. Actually, we've had Black Friday since July. All right, so if you go to diamondsdirect.com, great website, you can find out all the stuff that they've got, but they also have it broken into little categories. Gifts for under $300. Yeah, you can get something really awesome at Diamonds Direct Crabtree for that price point, but you could do whatever you like. And here's the best part. You're going to pay less at Diamonds Direct Crabtree than you will anywhere else because there is no middleman markup. You're buying directly from the diamond manufacturers. So, by the way, I was looking at a sapphire and diamond bracelet. Looks great. I'll pay less there. Diamonds Direct Crabtree on Glenwood Avenue. In front of Crabtree Valley Mall in Raleigh, you should go right now.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts.
The kick is good!
Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great, it's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go! It's Bo time.
The Ram Black Friday sales event is going on now, with great deals on a wide selection of powerful and dependable Ram trucks. Right now, finance and get $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Go to ram.com and hurry to your local Ram dealer for this Black Friday offer. $8,500 total cash allowance on the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab. Financing for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Financial. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 12/2/24.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he said in his interview today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time, he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Very important weekend for, I'm going to say, the Clemson Tigers. Not only do they have a game which they can absolutely lose against the University of Pittsburgh, but I am one of those people who believes that the Tigers are still in the running for an at-large spot at the in the college football playoff. But in order to do that, they need to keep winning and be impressive. And they're going to need South Carolina to beat Missouri and be a good team when the Clemson Tigers play South Carolina to close out the season. I don't know why I'm talking about that now. I have Taylor Tannebaum, who's going to join us right now from the ACC Network. She's going to be in town because Wake Forest and North Carolina will renew acquaintances at Kenan Stadium on Saturday. Thank you very much for coming on. This is our first conversation. I look forward to it. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
All right. Well, we'll see if you still feel that way when it's all over.
There you go. I just got to Chapel Hill, so I am officially in the triangle.
Oh, very nice. What have you seen from the Tar Heels the last couple of games? I mean, they have been through it emotionally, obviously, over the last month, not just the passing, but the lead up to the passing of the teammate. So what have you seen from them on the football field?
I've seen complimentary football, right? Like the offense with Omari and Hampton, and then how Jacoby Criswell has come along, and the weapons they have at wide receiver and tight end. They've been fine, really, for the duration of the season. It took Criswell a minute to get going, but you would think of being a late transfer in and the third string guy and kind of getting the keys to the car when maybe he didn't expected or the team didn't expect it. They've held their own. They've scored, and you really do have the best running back, I would say, in the ACC in Omari and Hampton. But the defense hadn't been pulling its weight, and that was what we hoped this year would be different under Jeff Collins. They were really good early on, and then it tapered off, and then you saw the heels of old. And then the last few games since their bye week and since the passing of Tylee Kraft and they had to go through all of that emotionally, you've seen a different defense. Obviously getting pressure on the quarterback, just more sound tackling, playing with confidence. So they're playing off each other, right? And it's not just dependent on one side of the ball to get the job done, which has resulted in wins. And they have a chance here with their schedule to finish with all wins. Yeah. And that would be huge this week and obviously for bowl eligibility. Wake Forest is eyeing that too, even though they're sitting at 4. They got to get a couple here down the stretch. But I've just seen a different Carolina team playing with a different belief.
Yeah, it's obviously been a difficult time, and we've spent a lot of time here talking about Mack Brown and the future of the program, and with all of that, and we could have a normal conversation about is it time for Mack to walk. The fact that he's here has probably been the best thing for the university, for this program, based on all that they have gone through this year. He just seems ideally suited to kind of guide, young people through this. I mean, I don't remember. I wasn't here the first iteration of Mack Brown, right. But this iteration of Mack Brown feels maybe to a detriment, very grandfatherly.
No, absolutely. And, I think he has more perspective on life now, just as you get older. You saw it happen with Nick Saban as well, and he has grandkids, and it softened him up a little bit. Look, Mack Brown, at the end of the day, is a Hall of Fame head coach. There's no question what he's done in his career. Now it's also, and he'll talk about this, molding young men and furthering the game with all the changes in college athletics and college football especially. He wants to be an ambassador for that and to help guide these young men. You can see it in the emotion when he talked about Tylee, when the Tez Walker stuff happened last year. Like, he takes that personally. And I do agree with you. I think he's a perfect person suited to be in this role for those things. And we don't know, how much longer he wants to do this. He'll do it until, he feels like he wants to. And that's because he's earned that right. But for them to turn the season around the way they have, it's a credit, obviously, to the players, the coaches, and at the top in Mack Brown continuing to believe in these guys and breathe confidence into them and being there for them as not just their coach, but as a mentor and a father figure when they've needed it most.
Taylor Tannebaum, ACC Network, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, The Huddle. I had a chance to watch this a lot the last couple of weeks. I think you guys do a great job, but it's clear that they're all about offense. You got everybody's an offensive guy, and that's it.
I know.
We need a defensive perspective on this. Clemson, you guys just were up in Blacksburg at Lane Stadium. Clemson picked up a win over Virginia Tech.
Right.
I know they lost to Louisville, and I know that loss has put them in the minds of many people out of the picture. I don't believe that. What do you see? What does Clemson need to do? I mean, obviously win and win impressively, but what are they not doing well enough offensively or defensively that has put them in this position?
Offensively, I think they've been, for the most part, okay. It's just cleaning up the little things, being better on third down. Cade Klubnik, Eric McLean, and the guys will talk about this a lot, not taking unnecessary sacks, i.e. running out of bounds when you could throw the ball away and now you've lost 10 yards. Right. Little things like that, execution-wise, is important. Continuing the downfield explosive plays, like they cannot revert back to the side-to-side play that we've seen for so many years, and you saw a little bit of that, it feels like, in the last couple of weeks. But continuing to do the little things, and they'll be okay. Feed Phil Maffa. The offensive line is playing significantly better this year, so continuing to do what they do. Defensively, though, bend but don't break, it's kind of been this season, and Dabo Swinney has talked about that. Sometimes it's feast or famine, he's said, with this defense. they've got to shore some things up. The explosive plays were a problem against Louisville. Little things like that, obviously getting pressure on the quarterback. They have a defensive line that should be doing that. But Peter Woods, the injury to him has certainly impacted that as well. So they have to continue to do what they do offensively, eliminate the little things because they have the talent to do so. But defensively, they just have to be better, really in every facet. They've been good, but they have to be better. And the kicking game, look, special teams honestly has been an Achilles heel for them. Nolan Hauser's had a couple of kicks blocked here as of late, 6 kicks blocked this season, most in the entire country. So that obviously is game changing. Like people forget, they say offense, defense, but their special teams, it cost them a couple of times last year. You remember against Florida State, and then this year it's been costly for them as well. So that's one place that I think they need to be significantly better as well. The problem for Clemson now lies, even if they do win out, they'll have a great win against South Carolina at the end of the season if that does come into play. The problem is in the ACC tiebreaker situation, Louisville is the common opponent for SMU, Miami, and Clemson, and they're the only one that has lost to Louisville. So that becomes, a determining factor. So Clemson has to do what they have to continue doing, be explosive offensively, shore some things up defensively, get better in the kicking game. But they also kind of have to hope for a couple of other things in the ACC to happen. Miami potentially dropping another one, SMU dropping one as well. So it turns into more of a tiebreak situation. And then Pitt is still somewhat in the mix, but also the SEC cannibalizing it a little bit. See what happens there.
Taylor Tannebaum from ACC Network is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. See, I'm like, I don't want Miami to lose again until the ACC championship game. Same for SMU, but I'm just not ruling out a 10-2 Clemson team finding their way in, as long as that win over South Carolina, if it happens at the end of the season, looks impressive to me. But I'm curious about this because when you brought me to Clemson might need somebody else because they would not be the team into the ACC championship game if everybody wins the games they're supposed to win, Miami and SMU. That'll be the matchup. And then I'm thinking about what Greg Sankey said yesterday, which I don't know if you've heard this yet. But when Sankey said, I would just hope that the College Football Playoff Committee would do what they've always done and credit, making the conference championship game and just having that game be an add-on, as opposed to the fact that he wasn't the commissioner of the SEC last year when Georgia lost to Alabama after going undefeated and didn't make the playoff.
Yeah, it's whatever works that year, right? And look, it's different members on the committee every single year, different things that they value. Ward Manuel, who's the committee chair now, said, when he was talking about a couple of weeks ago, the IU-BYU argument, why one was ahead of the other, he talked a ton about the way it's looked, how they've won. He's talked about balance offensively and defensively. So they're weighing those metrics pretty heavily when maybe in the past the eye test hasn't necessarily been the top priority. There are some inconsistencies, but that's what happens when you have a human element added to this thing. There are analytics through ESPN that we get every week, telling us, if this situation happens, if this situation, a lot of them say that making the championship game is almost a bad thing. The metrics are higher if they don't play that extra game. So I see where he's coming from. But I would also argue if Clemson were to make a championship game and knocked off a ranked Miami team, you want that ranked win in your pocket on the biggest stage like that to me. But maybe if you go in and lose, it does not help you just to make it. So it just depends on the scenario, and it's going to be dependent on what everyone else around the country does too. Look, we've expanded this playoff to 12, but it also feels like this year there's more parity than ever.
It's craziness.
It feels like, yay, we're going to be all happy because 12 teams are going to make it. It feels like more teams than really ever in the past are qualified to be in a top 12.
Yeah, qualified to be in a top 12, but I think it would have been amazing if this was the last year of the 4-team playoff. How would we possibly come up, Army's undefeated, right? We have 4 undefeated teams. Army, BYU, Indiana, and Oregon. Would that be our 4-team playoff? I doubt it.
If you ask me, no, it wouldn't be because you saw last year when Florida State got left out. I would say yes, because you have to credit winning, but that's not always the case. You know what I mean? So I get it. You would have a lot of very unhappy people. A lot.
I just think it would, like the fake selection shows that they do on Tuesday night, I just think they would be hysterical to leave out undefeated teams at this point in the season when it doesn't really matter.
Right. And then you null and void the point of why do we roll the ball out and play.
Unbelievable. Taylor Tannebaum, at Taylor Tannebaum on Twitter. You should get on the Blue Sky. I don't know if you're on Blue Sky yet. We're moving over there where we're just talking about...
No, I just found out about this. I'm confused. What happened to Threads? We have another one now?
Yeah, we do. You know what? Threads desktop is so bad. I actually don't know if Blue Sky has a desktop yet either. I won't use it much if it doesn't have a desktop option because it's so much easier to use, like when I'm covering games, if it has a desktop. But for right now, I'm everywhere. So... we'll see you on Blue Sky at one point. But at Taylor Tannebaum,
I'll get on. I'll make an account.
Hey, thank you very much for doing this. Enjoy Chapel Hill.
Appreciate you so much. I'll talk to you guys soon.
You got it. Taylor Tannebaum here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, I was going to talk about the Hurricanes anyway, but it has been brought to my attention that we have a developing situation with the Carolina Hurricanes. And it's exactly where you think it is. It's the goalie.
Yeah.
All right, so Rod Brindamore said today, and I give a shout-out to my friend Ryan Henkel, Hockey News, frequent guest in this program. I'm using his Twitter feed for this information. Pyotr Kochetkov, doubtful for tomorrow, which probably means he's doubtful for Sunday, too. Carolina plays at home this weekend against Ottawa tomorrow, St. Louis on Sunday. And we'll get to those two teams in a second. So if he is doubtful for tomorrow, again, I'm making him doubtful for Sunday. That means it will be Spencer Martin and a call-up. My guess is that call-up would likely be Yanni Peretz. I haven't looked to see what the Chicago Wolves situation is with goaltenders. They're both Hurricanes prospects. Kazayev, I believe, is the other one, a kid from Russia who's like in his early 20s. And so more than likely you'd see Martin and let's just say Peretz, who I'm not sure Peretz is an NHL goalie, but I'm also not sure Kazayev is at this point either. I'm fairly certain that neither are. So that's the Kochetkov part of this. So what was said earlier, what was the question earlier about Frederik Andersen?
Yeah, people were just asking what's up with Freddie.
Okay, well, here's Ryan Henkel's Twitter. Andersen's injury is no longer week to week. Quote, way longer. That and Rod tagged that with, that's what I'll say.
Nice. Okay.
Now, I wish I was there. And again, I will ask Rod this tomorrow about Frederik Andersen. But, yeah, problematic when your two top goalies are out. Now, Spencer Martin is more than a capable understudy. So, is what it is. Now, more along the infirmary front. Seth Jarvis, unlikely to see him this weekend. Rod says maybe next week. He said he wasn't sure if Jarvis's injury was a re-aggravation. Not there. I haven't talked to him about it, so I can't say. If I was going to parse words, I would say, probably was. So I would say, but I don't know. And because we don't have any information on the Jarvis injury, it would be irresponsible to say that it is a re-aggravation. So I don't know. I will say that this is what I've talked about with Tripp and what I've talked about with Rod. Seth Jarvis has an enormously high pain threshold. The fact that he played 3/4 of the season with the shoulder injuries last year is amazing to me. when you go into an offseason with a shoulder injury and you decide to not have surgery, typically shoulder surgeries need about a 6-month rehab. If he had the surgery now, for instance, on his shoulder, we wouldn't see him till the beginning of next year. I think Brett Pesce had shoulder surgery during the pandemic year. Remember the year that was shut down?
Yes.
Pesce injured his shoulder, had surgery, and there was hope, because that happened. He got hurt in January. There was hope that he would be back when the season resumed in August in the bubble. He was not ready. So it just takes time for shoulders to heal. So he probably, if he had it done now, if he had again, I don't want anybody to take this to mean Adam knows that the injury is a re-aggravation of the old shoulder injury. I don't. But if it was, and surgery was being considered, it would be, we'll see you, Seth, next summer. And that would be an enormous blow for this team going forward.
Yeah.
All right. If it's something where they just decided to rehab it, then it becomes, as long as you can physically do this, pain management. He's got a high threshold of pain. So for him to be missing these games, it's either something else, which I think we would root for, right?
Absolutely.
Or whatever is causing him a significant amount of pain that is it like preventing him from playing. Let's hope he comes back. So now, back to the weekend. Ottawa's won, I think 2 in a row, 3 or 4, something. Ottawa's playing better. They're now over 500. St. Louis is the team, one of the teams that has beaten the Hurricanes already this year. St. Louis is not great. So it's an opportunity, really, for Carolina to win a couple of games before you go out on the road. I think it's a 3-game road trip, which will see them play in New Jersey, by the way. I think it's Thursday. They play back-to-back this weekend, back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday. They'll get 2 days off, and then they'll play another set of back-to-backs. And the Thursday game is in New Jersey, and the Devils right now are on fire. They have won 5 of 6, 7 of 9. They just won at Florida on back-to-back nights. They're playing in Tampa tomorrow. So the Devils look like they have hit their stride. It would be good if Carolina was fully operational when we get to that game. I have no idea if that's going to be the case. Will Kochetkov be back? Will Jarvis be back? So yesterday on Blue Sky, and you can follow me on Blue Sky at Adam Gold, I said, I want this website to be a place where we can just discuss how to get the most out of Sebastian Aho. So here is my plan, and I will leave you with this. I would not touch Kokaniemi, Natchez, Robinson, even though defensively they were kind of poor in the loss in Utah. That's okay. It happens. It just happened to be them on, what was it, Saturday night? I don't know. What day was it? Wednesday night. Gosh. What day is today? Today's Friday, right?
It's a Friday.
So I would leave that line alone. The line has been too good. I'm not breaking them up. But I would consider mixing the others. At some point, the head coach is going to realize, and he knows this, but he has allowed it to continue because they're winning. At some point, the head coach is going to go, Svechnikov and Aho theoretically should work, but in practice, it doesn't. We're going to separate them. So here's what I would do. I would say, Sebastian Aho, meet your new left wing, Jordan Martinook. Meet your new right wing, Jackson Blake, until Seth Jarvis is back. And then I would put Jarvis with Aho and Martinook. What that is changing centers, really, on that line, since Jarvis and Martinook have been playing on the other side of Jordan Staal. I just stick Sebastian Aho in there and take advantage of the way that Jarvis and Martinook play that creates scoring opportunities by itself and let Sebastian play off that. And then I'm not saying it doesn't matter how you configure other lines, but you can mix and match in there. Jordan Stahl's playing very well. Jack Jury is playing great hockey right now. So Carolina has so many guys playing at a high level, and they're playing at a high level. But what we're trying to do is have Sebastian Aho join the offensive party here. It's not a good thing. It's good that the Hurricanes have 11 wins. But they have 11 wins in spite of, in regulation, getting no goals from Aho. The only regulation goal Aho has is an empty netter, which we could argue whether or not they should even count. But that's it. He's got 2 overtime 3-on-3 goals. That's what he's got this year. Now, he has plenty of assists. He had an assist on the Natchez power play goal in Utah that made it 3-2. But that's it. I mean, he's got to be able to score. So the whole plan was to figure out a way to get Sebastian Aho going again. And we'll see if the head coach is listening. I don't know if the head coach is listening or not. If he is, I'll get a text. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We will stretch, and we will place bets. It is a big weekend. I may dip into the top 10 games of the weekend, which I ranked.
Not a bad idea.
There you go. Next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
My name's Kate Roper, and I live in Leicester, North Carolina. In September of 2023, I had a tumor removed from my left ear, and I just enrolled in NC Medicaid. It was just such a relief knowing that now that I'm covered by NC Medicaid, I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay for medical treatment now. It's probably saving my life.
See if you qualify at medicaid.nc.gov.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here, but don't worry. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
ACT Construction Equipment is proud to be your certified local Takeuchi dealer in Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Asheville, Wilmington, and Myrtle Beach. Takeuchi has long been a world leader in the compact construction industry. Let ACT Construction Equipment help you find the right machine for the job. Our full line of excavators, track loaders, and attachments are designed for low maintenance and high productivity. Visit us online at actce.com to schedule a demo. ACT Construction Equipment, your authorized Takeuchi dealer.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. If you own land that may be converted from agricultural use, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services may be able to help. Grants for the purchase of development rights are available through the North Carolina Agricultural Development and Farmland Preservation Trust Fund. Landowners can learn more at ncadfp.org.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a Generac home standby generator. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
Have you lost North Carolina Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Psst. Hello there. It's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we've got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
Did you know? Atlantic hurricane season runs through November. From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
When you're high, you feel different. But if you feel different, you drive different. So don't drive high. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Adam Gold.
What, a minute 53 into the game? Heat of the moment?
Right.
What kind of heat of the moment is that? We haven't even gotten to simmer yet.
I know. Did someone flip him off in the parking lot? Like, what are we...
Seriously.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. I found out there is, in fact, a desktop version of Blue Sky. If you just go into your browser, type in Blue Sky, it'll take you to it. And I will just say, it ain't great, but it'll do the job. It'll do the job. So if you're tired of the electric car guy, then there you go. And Threads too. I think Threads also has a pretty rudimentary. I have to go back and see if there's anybody there left. I don't know. Idea. It seemed like Blue Sky's taken over the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a Threads, but I've never posted anything.
Oh, I know. I posted there for a while. I was doing both.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard to go back and forth. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have time to post it twice.
There's
you should be able to
many.
send it to all of your socials. You probably can.
It's like
I'm just
50
not savvy enough to do it.
It's too much.
It is too much. You know what? You know what would be better? Just
MySpace?
to ditch all of them.
I know.
To be honest.
I know. I want
We'd
MySpace
have
back.
so much more time.
We should.
All right, let's stretch.
Okay, well, so this probably may not make people feel good about themselves, or it might make you feel good about yourself. Who knows? Maybe this is nothing to you. But the Mayo Clinic has now posted the amount of push-ups a person should be able to do to be in, quote, good shape by each age. So,
Okay.
starting with the younger ones, if you're around 25-ish years old, they say for women, you should be able to do about 20. For men, 28. So,
28 what again?
Push-ups to be, quote, in good shape. Now, 35, women 19, men 21 push-ups that you should be able to do. If you're 45 years old, that goes down to 14 for women, 16 for men. 55 years old, 10 for women, 12 for men, and then 65, they say 10 and 10 for both.
All right, let me ask this question. Is it just one set of 12 push-ups for 55-year-old men?
Yeah, I think if you could just do 12 of that, like however many, if you can just do them.
Well, I'm not in good shape. And I can do that right now.
Right, exactly. So that's it might make people feel good about themselves if you can do that.
It would not. It would not.
So now pull-ups, that's a whole different other story.
I can't do one.
No.
None. Zero. I've never been able to do a pull-up.
Pull-ups are the worst. They are torture. But yeah, so if you could do those many push-ups, depending on your age, you might be A-okay. Now, I don't know if you can put out this number, because if you are a huge Batman fan and you love the Batmobile and you've wanted one like in real life, you can now get one.
What?
However, it's going to cost you some change, because Tumblr has made a Batmobile from the Dark Knight trilogy that can finally be yours. It's life-size. It's a life-size replica. It actually can be driven. However, it's not street legal. It's 15 feet long, 9 feet wide. It weighs over 5,500 pounds. It's a two-seater. It also has 525 horsepower engine that delivers 486 feed a few pounds of torque. So, I mean, it'll get you going somewhere, just not on the road. It even has a smoke screen delivery system. I mean, it's got all the things. It has smoke, but it doesn't have flames. But it's only going to cost you about $3 million.
That's it?
So that's it. And they're
two.
Well, they're only making 10. So you have to rush and submit your application because that's what they're doing. It will take 15 months to make and deliver, but you can get it at BruceWayneX.com.
Nice.
And if you want
Be careful about Bruce Wayne X. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That just sounds like that might take you to a place you don't want to go.
Yeah, when you put X and stuff, it's a little shady, but I don't know. Maybe X marks the spot on our picks.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slice.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, I don't think I won anything yesterday again. I'm keeping my streak alive.
Yeah. Well, my first half under total came through. Like I said, put it in a parlay. It was like minus 135.
Right.
So Barkley got a touchdown. He just wasn't the first. But this one, UFC 309 is this weekend. I know there's fighting tonight, but the real fighting's happening this weekend. It's a huge card. First fight I'm talking about is Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Give me Chris the Vet Weidman by the points in this one. He is favored, but by the points, plus 200.
Finish your card.
Oh, well, I'm going to do another one. There's only two I'm going to do because I wanted to do football too. But I'm also going to do Marcin Tybura versus Hinoda Janice. So both of these guys just fought 3 months ago. Marcin, he's also a vet, but Hinoda, he's on a streak. So give me him to win. And he's an underdog in this fight. So just however he wants to, plus 120.
All right. Kansas City's at Buffalo.
Yeah, they are.
You know the Chiefs are plus money?
I know, it's stupid.
It's not a lot. Plus 112. You know Pittsburgh at home is plus money?
Yep.
Well, plus a fair amount, plus 152. What if we parlayed them?
Ooh.
Have a little fun. Chiefs, Steelers, each to win, plus 434.
Nice. Well, the only football game I've got time for, which this spread is just stupid. We talked about it yesterday. It's like a college football spread. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions. Give me the Lions to win, and I'm going to take the over 46.5. So those two together is plus 100.
I think we have two struggling offenses in Athens, Tennessee and Georgia. Under 47.5. Georgia to win. But I don't think they're going to cover. Tennessee to cover, under 47.5.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam, and every Friday night, FanDuel is giving all customers a bigger payout on select NBA first, air quotes, bets. First bets means that you don't have to be around till the game ends. You can bet on who's going to score the first basket, who's going to be the first team to 15 points, so on and so forth. And on top of that, we boost the return. It's so good. Best of all, you don't have to wait the whole game to find out if you win. Just look for Friday First in the FanDuel app to find your profit boost. That's it. Friday First. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Claim your Friday First profit boost. FanDuel is an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
'Tis the season for family and friends. 'Tis the season for gifting. And 'tis the season for making holiday dreams come true. 'Tis the season for using the old-timey contraction 'tis. And 'tis the time of year for holiday scratch-offs. With over $85 million in total prizes, 'tis the best gift of all.
'Tis the season to gift endless joy with holiday scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.06 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Pinch me, because Lobster's back at Carolina Ale House. This fan favorite's only available through the end of the year, so head for your closest Carolina Ale House and load up on lobster. Enjoy your favorites or try something new like lobster seafood scampi, surf and turf, grouper fingers, and more. And as long as you're treating yourself, go all out with dessert too. Top off your lobster meal with a nice warm brookie with ice cream on top. Visit any Carolina Ale House in the Triangle and treat yourself this fall. #Ale Yeah.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are his 4 C's. Its cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. Third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, a free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no pressure, no risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics, and proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
10 years ago, who could have predicted what the internet would bring? Streaming videos, voice assistants, smartphones, smart homes, work from home. But here we are, wondering what the next 10 years will bring. Whatever it brings, Lumos 100% fiber optic internet is ready with incredible speeds and reliability. So you can do more and be more than you ever thought possible on the internet built for the future. See your future at lumosfiber.com/future.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
We went into the Panthers facility, and you mean to tell me one of the greatest Panthers to ever play ain't up nowhere? I'm talking nowhere. Who brought it to my attention? My son. How old is my son, Peggy?
8 now.
He 8. So as a man, when you have to explain to your son, Daddy, where's your picture? Yeah. At this particular point in time, the question was, oh, we don't know if Cam's retired yet. Newsflash, I'm never going to retire. I know I've played my last piece of football. It don't matter to me to officially retire.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show.
It's The Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria, producing the program. The voice, the words of Cam Newton. It came from his YouTube show. I believe it's called 4th and 1. It's on his own YouTube channel. And he sounds like it matters to him that he is really not recognized by the Panthers.
He should be.
Well, he absolutely should be recognized by the Panthers. And it shouldn't be a case of, well, we're waiting for you to retire. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a minute since he's been in the league. He played during the pandemic year with New England. I remember the second game of the year, the game at Seattle where New England lost a high-scoring game where he was like waking up the echoes of this. Oh, it could be this again? And then it was not the same. He was bad the rest of the way. Couldn't throw. And then he came back to the Panthers the following year in the middle of the season and played a little bit, and it was like a thunderbolt of energy for the franchise.
Oh, yeah.
For the fans, for the players.
It was great to see him at Bank of America Stadium. It was great. I was there.
Started the game against Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he comes out of the tunnel as they announce the starters, the amount of love that was clearly, palpable. But the game before was at Arizona. And he essentially does nothing except he scores 2 touchdowns early. They brought him in. Hey, score a touchdown. Okay.
Yeah, there's that.
Right, he scored 2 touchdowns. And that should have been a sign that when he's done playing, we need to have Cam around. We need to have, like, Luke Kuechly's around. Steve Smith's around.
Yeah.
Jake Delhomme is around.
Mm-hmm.
Beloved Panthers. I'm not saying Cam is more beloved than them. But if Greg Olson's around, if you're going to have your history and use your history to reach fans, why not use... He's not the best player in Panthers history, because that's Julius Peppers. But in a similar way, but I think even more so to Peppers, the Panthers were relevant with Cam Newton at quarterback, even if they weren't good, because Cam Newton was one of those NFL players that you simply had to watch. You just never knew what you were going to get. You were likely to see something, oh my gosh, he is the only player who can do that. And it didn't even matter if they were good, because as a rookie, they weren't good. But Cam was a show. And then when they were good and Cam was the reason, MVP in the 2015 season, it was every single week. It was, this guy is unstoppable. You had to watch.
He was a show.
They have not been relevant since. And what I mean by that, it's not about whether or not you're good. The Lions are great. And while they have amazing players who do wildly good things, I would argue that they are not yet relevant. You're going to have to win. You're going to have to, legitimately win. Go to the Super Bowl and win it. And then you slip into relevance. Or do this for extended periods, not just a year. In this case, Cam Newton, you don't have to win if Cam Newton was your player, because Cam brought relevance. The last time the Panthers truly mattered, Cam Newton was their quarterback. The team should do a lot, especially when you have a fan base that is prone to checking out because your team disappoints you. You don't have an enormous fan base to begin with.
Yeah,
you have
fair
a loyal,
weather.
You have a it is
fair weather. It's people who
it's learned. It's a learned. Like, if your team was always good, then you'd be more willing to put up with a bad team in December.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of people who are detached is frustration because we have David Tepper, who I feel has made us irrelevant. So it's one of these helpless positions that we're in because we realize that until he changes things, we're going to be stuck in this cycle. So that's why we're hoping that he gets out of this cycle, this spin cycle of
You mean
awful.
Tepper gets out of it?
Yeah, get out of the laundry room. Get out, just leave so we can get out of this. Let other people make decisions, please.
When do you think David Tepper folded laundry last?
Never. I don't know if he's ever. I don't know if he's ever done it.
Oh, man, everybody's done that.
I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, I hope he has. I hope he didn't grow up to where, like, mommy did everything and then he just married into, like, where people did it.
I guess
don't know.
it's possible.
It's a thing. It could be, but I don't know.
I'm the laundry folder in my house.
Oh, yeah.
I have a system.
Yes. There's a way to do it.
I have a system. I am also not responsible for all the laundry getting left on the coffee table.
Yes.
I'm not responsible for that because that's not my laundry. I bring my laundry into the bedroom. All right, we don't need to talk about this. All right, we have a roundtable coming up. Josh Graham and Jeremy Greene are going to join us. We have one returning champion. You decide who it is. But let's do a quick wall of sound.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, I want to start with the head coach of the Washington Commandos. I was already starting to move into calling them the Commanders. You know, like conversations like I've been stopping with the Commandos.
Right.
You know what? You're the Commandos.
Yeah.
Especially when you do this. When you're down 12-10, and I think it's late third quarter or early fourth quarter, and you have the opportunity to kick a field goal, a relatively short one, 43 yards I think it would have been, to take the lead. Like, there is something to be said for just having the lead in the middle of the second half, the latter part of the second half, and saying, you know what? It's not a guarantee the other team's going to score. They could turn it over. They could screw it up. They could drop a pass. Look, we've already seen Philadelphia miss 46 kicks today, so why not? Because they just missed the extra point that would have made it 13-10. You have the opportunity to kick that field goal. You take it. Washington didn't. That's an own goal to me. Dan Quinn on going for it on fourth down, not getting it, and maybe everything surrounding it.
Biggest play, obviously, to go for it, and fourth down and 2 at the 26. Bold call, but I would also say we were prepared for that moment. Don't love the execution, but we've been an excellent fourth down team. So going into it, we knew we'd have to take our shots against a tough division team on the road, and we thought that was an appropriate one. Certainly don't like the execution and the result, but we were prepared for that and being bold into those moments, knowing we'd have some fourth downs. But that's one we can fix. Thought third down on both sides was tough, especially offensively tonight. A game like this puts you through the resilience, and love to say that the season's going to go all along smoothly, but the adversity comes and hits. Like I said, tough division game on the road.
All right, so it was in the fourth quarter. I appreciate him saying it was a bold decision. Yeah, bold is, it's not the word I'd use, but I mean, I think you could use it. I wouldn't use it, but I think you could use bold. And the decision came with 8 minutes left in the game. 8 minutes left in the game. There is a situation in golf called leader in the clubhouse. And even regardless of how the difficulty level of the remaining holes, if you are in, let's say, the fourth group from the end, and if you post a score that makes you the leader of all the players who have finished, it's called leader in the clubhouse. And sometimes that's good enough to win. You don't know what the people behind you are going to do. They could screw it up. Golf's hard. Professional football sometimes can present those same difficulties. So if you're Washington with 8 minutes to go, why not just take the lead? Take your 3 points, move on. You ran 2 terrible plays and we'll talk about this in the roundtable, you ran 2 terrible, unimaginative plays on 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1. So why not just kick it? But they didn't do that. Not only did they scored again, but it was already over. It was 26-10 by the time Washington bothered to put more points on the board. But so not only did they not take the lead and give the ball back to Philadelphia with the momentum of just having turned them over on downs, when Philadelphia turned that into a touchdown and kicked the extra point, Washington was down 2 scores. You're down 9. If you kick the field goal, even if you consider that a -4, which, okay, I'm here for that. If Philadelphia scores a touchdown to make it 19-13, first of all, they probably go for 2 because that's the way of the world in football. It's probably 18-12 if Philadelphia doesn't get the 2-point conversion, and you're only a touchdown away. I'm just saying it would have been better off kicking the field goal. All right, when we come back, we will do a roundtable as we do on Fridays. Jeremy Greene, ESPN Asheville, Josh Graham from Sports Hub Triad. We will talk football and more with them next.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't think we're being fair to the Eagles. Other teams around the league have lost games that they're not supposed to lose. I have a tough time not giving a team credit that was dealing with all of the Sirianni turmoil. The fact that even a week ago we thought, oh, could he be gone if they lost the Jaguars? I'm just going to give them a little bit more credit than you guys are.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Eagles continued their win streak to 6 games last night after beating the Commanders, and it may not come as a surprise, but Saquon Barkley would have been a great anytime touchdown score. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for BetMGM, and this weekend should not disappoint with very interesting NFL matchups and offenses that should have big days with plenty of opportunities to make some spicy wagers. And if you want to kick off your weekend with a knockout bet, there's the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight happening tonight, where Mike is currently at plus 165. I also cannot wait for UFC 309 to happen, where our favorite fighters are back in the octagon to prove they still got it. And when you use the BetMGM app, you'll see options like betting the money line, prop bets, live bets, same-game parlays, and BetMGM also offers fun daily promotions. All brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Download the app today and please gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus, only North Carolina only. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Dauntless Transmissions in Raleigh is hiring. If you're an ASE certified automotive technician looking to make good money, have a guaranteed 40-hour work week, and get paid every Friday, check out this opportunity. Dauntless Transmissions is a small family-owned shop with a quality-first attitude in need of technicians with experience doing minor engine work. Happy to train the right candidate further on transmissions. If you're ready to be appreciated and duly compensated for your automotive abilities, call or apply now at dauntlesstransmissions.com.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Hi, this is Mike Maniscalco. Do you want to increase the value of your home and decrease the cost of energy bills? If your home needs new windows, siding, doors, and more, look no further than your locally owned Window World, the Triangle's most trusted and America's largest exterior remodeler. A proud sponsor of the Canes, Window World will get your home looking great on the outside while saving on energy costs inside. Search Window World for a free quote today.
This is Adam Gold.
Yeah, but he's real patient, like he
Right.
said in his interview
well,
today.
In all other aspects of life.
Yes.
If he's in line at the drive-thru and it's taking a long time,
Right.
he will not ram the car in front of him.
Exactly. Someone's pressing his shirt. He will wait 30 seconds for it to be crisper.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Hurricanes fans, if you're just tuning in, let me just give you a quick update before we get to the roundtable. Seth Jarvis, not yet ready to get back on the ice. Rod Brindamore said maybe next week. Carolina will play twice next week. I think it's Philadelphia and New Jersey, back-to-back games. Hopefully we'd see him in one of those. Pyotr Kochetkov, who was injured in the most recent loss to Utah, is doubtful for tomorrow against Ottawa, and considering their back-to-back home games, Saturday, Sunday with St. Louis on the other side. If he's doubtful for Saturday, he's probably doubtful for Sunday, which means that the Hurricanes are likely going to have to call up a goaltender from Chicago. That would either be Yanni Peretz or Ruslan Kazayev. Kazayev has played better than Peretz in Chicago, so that is my guess as to who it would be. Neither are good options for an NHL game. So who knows? We might see Spencer Martin twice. And honestly, that'd be fine. We might see Spencer Martin in both games this weekend at Lenovo Center. And when asked about Frederick Anderson, Rod said he's no longer week to week, way longer. And that's it. That's all we got.
Yikes.
All right. Are we ready to roundtable?
Camelot. Camelot. It's only a model.
We have a returning champion, a past champion here. Jeremy Greene, ESPN Asheville, is a returning champion. We're going to ask him how things are going. And Josh Graham, who is, multi-time runner-up, is joining us from Sports Hub Triad. Josh, you are well, I trust?
I couldn't be better. I became a dad last week, and I get to talk to Adam Gold this week. What a 1-2 punch.
First of all, because I've kind of, I don't know, I didn't see. Congratulations. I did not know. I did not know you became a dad.
Shout out to baby Daniel. 7 pounds, 2 ounces.
7 pounds, 2 ounces. What position does he play? Is he left-handed?
Oh, yeah.
Can he throw a curve yet?
Ambidextrous. The next Shohei Ohtani, he could throw right and lefty.
That wouldn't be the next Shohei Ohtani. There is a pitcher.
Even better.
There is a pitcher, I don't know his name, I can't remember his name, who does throw both his left and his right hand. But Shohei Ohtani is not ambidextrous. He is just great at baseball. He is Babe Ruth. And Jeremy Greene, ESPN Asheville. Let me just start real quick. It's been about almost a month since we have chatted. So once again, I want to get the lay of the land up there on the mountain. How are things? Are we even remotely close towards something resembling normalcy?
We're getting better. We have a lot of people up here that are doing incredible things, and it's coming from places that you wouldn't necessarily suspect. One of our music venues up here has become a gigantic relief hub that they literally have like 4 warehouses full of supplies that they're giving out every single day, slinging meals. We still don't have drinkable water.
Right.
So I never realized how much I loved ice. I would black market ice right now would really put a dent in my wallet because I would buy a lot of it. But we're getting closer.
Okay.
You know, we're seeing growth every day. The concert for Carolina was fantastic. I'm a David Tepper fan for life now. I know he's not great on the field, but
not a great owner, but yes,
he was a great humanitarian in that effort. And but yeah, it's getting better. We're getting more normal. Traffic is a nightmare, but
All right.
We'll take that from where we were 2 months ago.
Let's start with some Panthers stuff. I know it's a bye week, but let's just get some Panther stuff because I know both of you guys will have things to say about this. It shouldn't be a difficult question to answer, but Dave Canales has a hard time with it. Bryce Young starts against Kansas City, Jeremy, correct?
Yes.
Why can't he just say, of course? He's played reasonably well. He's looked like an NFL quarterback for the last 2 weeks. Therefore, he's going to start. Why is this hard?
The best explanation on that I can give is kind of like when I look in a mirror, because I'm about a 300-pound guy. And I don't want to admit that I'm overweight, but I am overweight. So no matter how often I look in that mirror, the answer is always going to be the same whether I want to admit it or not. I don't think Dave Canales wants Bryce Young to be the starting quarterback, but he is, and he's going to be probably for the next 18 months if I had a wager, because this draft class is awful at quarterback. So you don't really have another option. It's making chicken salad out of chicken excrement.
Yes, there you go.
Bryce is doing a pretty good job of that right now.
He is. Josh, yeah, do you have a theory as to why Dave Canales can't bring him? I don't know if it's as good as that one. But
I think it's just a personality quirk. I think if you asked him about any position, is this guy the starter? As obnoxious as it might sound, I bet you he gives you a similar answer.
Who starts at running back, Dave Canales?
Yeah, I bet you he'll say, well, we got to see all the tape and all.
He would say Chuba Hubbard's been our best player.
I don't know that. As somebody who sits in these rooms.
Stop it.
Again, but it's of course Bryce Young's going to start as well, which is kind of the point here. And I honestly think there's an element of gamesmanship too, as well. Even though Andy Dalton and Bryce Young stylistically isn't all that crazy. This isn't like preparing for Anthony Richardson versus preparing for Joe Flacco. But I do think for a young NFL coach who's doing this for the first time, I do think he's thinking about gamesmanship and also trying to hold every player to the same standard in his Pete Carroll kind of out there type of way. That's my best explanation.
One of the things that Jeremy said, Josh, is really the basis for where I'm going to drive you here. Is it possible that Dave Canales, because I've thought this, that Dave Canales doesn't want Bryce Young to be his quarterback?
It's possible, but I do think if he could have played Andy Dalton, I think he could have played Andy Dalton the last couple of weeks if he wanted to.
How? How? Your job was to get Bryce playing well.
That is his job, but his job's also to win football games too.
It wasn't winning football games with Andy Dalton unless you were playing the Raiders.
Well, I mean, you're telling me Andy Dalton couldn't have won those last two football games that Bryce Young won?
I'm not. But what I'm saying is he wasn't winning football games. So, look,
it is the right decision to play Bryce. If he wanted to play Andy Dalton, he could have played Andy Dalton. That's the point I'm making, and he didn't.
Can he do it now? Can he play? Can Dave Canales play? Exactly.
No, I agree after winning the last two games, but after Denver, he could have played Andy Dalton if he wanted to, and he didn't. So
I agree.
That's why I can't stretch as far to say that he doesn't want to play Bryce Young. I wouldn't go that far, but I will say that it is going to be – this season now has purpose over the last 7 games because of what Bryce has done the last few weeks, where Bryce could – show enough progress over the next 7 games that you don't draft a quarterback next year. I disagree with Jeremy that next year's class is terrible. I think Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are going to be top 10 picks, and I think they're deserving.
Sanders will never be in Carolina, ever. There's no path that Deion Sanders allows that. You can take it right off the board.
Well, hold on one second.
I'm not even saying that the Carolina Panthers take Shedeur Sanders. I'm saying that Shedeur Sanders will be taken by somebody who is picking in the top 10 in Cam Ward, and they're probably deserving of that. But that is dependent on how Bryce Young performs over the last 7 games. It's what we've seen the last 2 weeks proves that it's not a write-off at this point for Bryce. He is 23. He turned 23 in July, and most of the time he's been a Panther, he has not been supported with adequate enough help. So I wouldn't write it off.
All right. Well, we're going to continue with Bryce. Jeremy, is he the starting quarterback for the Panthers next year?
Yes. because you don't have another choice. I'll elaborate.
I think you
on-
have a
on
choice.
what
You could
Josh-
trade him. You could trade him if you wanted.
You could trade him for a 5th-round pick, which is basically an admittance of
Right.
we completely botched this. Then you have to drive yourself into another issue. Josh is right. Cam Ward's a good quarterback, but Cam Ward is a very specific fit into where it would work. He won't work in Carolina. You would bring him in and have many of the same problems you have right now because you don't really have the weapons that fit with a Cam Ward. Shedeur Sanders, I have issues with him because I think he has problems between his ears of that he's always been the golden child and he wants to get his way, and Charlotte's not going to be his way. I can't get away from Shedeur Sanders lining up with the Raiders, which is its own cast of – that could be a sitcom, to be really honest with you, with Mark Davis and Shedeur Sanders. But I look at Carolina and go, do I use another top 10 pick on a quarterback that I'm putting in virtually the same position? Or do I build the team around Bryce, see what I've got in him? Because that's already a sunk cost. There's not an XFL team wouldn't give you a first-round pick for Bryce Young in their draft. So you're not recouping what you have in him. Build the team around him. This is an excellent defensive draft. The Panthers are not an excellent defensive team. So, and I feel like everybody runs to, we've got to fix the quarterback because they see Jaden Daniels.
Right.
Jaden Daniels goes into Washington. Well, Jaden Daniels had Terry McLaurin, and he has Austin Eckler, and he has and last night, I'm not going to lie, I looked at that team and went, man, you're going to be good when you have some actual receivers because outside of those two, it's scam.
Right.
But why use that pick to put another quarterback in the same position? Build the team and then deal with the quarterback.
I feel like I'm listening to stuff that I have said when I used to be a Jets fan about them, and I hate to bring up anything resembling a bad memory for you, Jeremy, because I know that aside from you being a very smart person, you continue to be a Jets fan, which I can't. I wish
I'll
I could
tell you a stat.
I wish I could
that
cure
saw,
you.
And I immediately thought of you.
Nice.
Because I don't do hockey. I don't know much about hockey. But the Winnipeg Jets have 2 wins in the New York City area this year. So do the New York Jets. And Winnipeg plays in Canada. So they don't play in New York very often. And that's a damning stat about my New York Jets.
That is no good. Let me ask about Cam Newton. I'm sure by now both of you have heard the Cam clip that he did put out on his own show on 4th and 1. It has made the rounds. We played it, I think, 4 times already today, where Cam was like, there's no recognition of me as a Panther anywhere around Bank of America Stadium or the offices or anything like that. Is Cam right to be upset about that?
It's nonsense, Adam. It is. I defend
Why is that
Cam Newton.
nonsense?
I think Cam Newton is the greatest, maybe the greatest pound-for-pound player the Panthers have had with the MVP in 2015. But when is Cam at Bank of America Stadium? I go there every other week, and I see Cam Newton stuff all over the place. I don't know what he's talking about. Like I walk into the suite levels, and they're hanging pictures of him holding an NFC Championship trophy. There's stuff all over the place. David Tepper said when Steve Smith was inducted into the Hall of Honor that we're going to bring the big guy back too. Okay. What this reeks of is Cam Newton had business, and he's a business person now, and he's really good at it. Great at TV, great podcasts. We've seen this coming for years, that he'd be really good at the talking about things in an entertaining way. And that might even come to the degree here of drawing sympathy, feeling like that he's been done wrong by the Carolina Panthers. He wasn't when the foot was such. The Panthers rebooted things, and they were right to move off Cam then, and they're not treating him wrong now. This reeks of business opportunities being presented to the Panthers by Cam Newton that the Panthers didn't want to be part of, and Cam Newton is sour grapes about that. And in terms of being invited to Germany for this thing last week, a lot of that stuff happened on Friday, 2 days before the game in Germany, which, by the way, would exactly conflict with the job that he just took doing Friday shows for First Take. So is Cam really so upset that he didn't get an invitation to something that he probably was going to turn down when half of those legends currently work for the Panthers and were working the game, which Cam Newton does not do right now. It's a huge nothing burger of a story, and they're going to bring the guy back to go into the Hall of Honor. He has not been treated wrong.
Josh making a lot of you're scoring very well. You're determined to get your first victory here, which of course I make it up. Jeremy, Cam have a point or no? Or is Josh right?
Josh was flawless in his execution there. I will actually cede the win on that topic to him because I couldn't have said any of that better. Cam to me he's the kid that didn't get invited to the party that he didn't want to go to in the first place. And now it just gives him a reason to complain that he wasn't invited.
Wow.
I'm
so team Cam here. I feel terrible. But that's fine.
And I love Cam. You can say he's
Cam
wrong.
differently than
Cam.
a lot of people do.
Gosh. Oh, Josh, for people watching on YouTube, give me that fist pump again.
Tiger fist pump. Let's go.
That was not a tiger fist pump. If you think that's a tiger fist pump, we have other issues. That was not a tiger. Gosh, I can't believe you just said that out loud. I'm taking away a point. I'm taking away a point for pretending that was no. Taking away a point for you pretending it was a tiger fist pump. All right, wheelhouse for you, Josh. I know this is wheelhouse for you. I'm going to read a Greg Sankey quote. I would expect Georgia and Tennessee will play this week. Georgia's got 2 losses in the league. Tennessee has 1. If there's like 6 teams with 2 losses at the end of the season, Lord knows how they're going to sift through it and give us 2 teams in the conference championship game. But Sankey said, I would expect that the selection committee continues that form of thinking. But let me just set it up better than this. If an SEC team has 3 losses coming out of the conference championship game, I would expect that the selection committee continues that form of thinking that these championship games, that 13th data point, is more of a reward and a recognition for the work done. All right, Josh, what are your thoughts on Greg Sankey lobbying for the loss not mattering?
I might surprise you with this answer, but this is what I wish Jim Phillips was doing last year ahead of what happened to Florida State. That's what you're supposed to do as a commissioner. I have less problems with Greg Sankey doing this in football, the sport that the SEC rightfully is king in, than the way he did it with basketball, talking about expanding the tournament so more mid-SEC teams could lose the first weekend of the
Can't
tournament.
have enough of that.
Honestly, like when Rhett Lashley was talking this week about conference bias, my brain didn't go to the SEC because, again, they have earned it over a long period of time, the distinction of being the football conference. It's when people lump the Big Ten in with the SEC that I really get red in the face about this, because the ACC does have a winning record against the Big Ten this year. And you might say, well, Josh, that's just Duke beating Northwestern and bottom feeders, Carolina beating Minnesota, that type of thing. And then in the same thought, Big Ten fans will say, well, look what you guys do out of conference. Clemson gets blown out by Georgia. I encourage you, Adam, to look at Ohio State, Penn State, these contenders in the Big Ten, Indiana's non-conference schedule, and try to find the best thing that is on there. You're not going to find anything good.
Josh, you need to listen to the show. I've been talking about this for 2 months.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness for you saying so. People will mock. Big Ten fans will say, your conference isn't any good because SMU can come right in and contend for your conference. Oh, that's funny, because your conference has teams coming in from a conference that hasn't won anything in football in decades. And last I checked, the team that's number 1 in your conference came from the Pac-12.
Yeah, there's four undefeated teams. One of them is Oregon. I would also point out that some of the other former Pac-12 teams stink in the Big Ten. They're not even good. By the way, there will be no disparaging of Minnesota because, as I am told, a Penn State win at Minnesota would classify as a good win now, which is stunning to me, having watched them at the beginning of the season.
Oh, and it's great. Going back to the SEC, Virginia Tech, terrible loss at Vanderbilt. Texas's best win is Vanderbilt.
That is true. I need to, and it wasn't a bad loss for Alabama, much like, just like everybody agreed that Georgia Tech wasn't a bad loss for it was a bad loss. I need to address Jeremy here because we're about to say goodbye to both of you. But because I just want to point out that Josh didn't really answer the question about the quote. And the quote, it's fine, because the quote could simply, the answer to the quote is, you mean like Georgia last year, who was undefeated going to the conference championship game, lost to Alabama, and then beat Florida State's uniforms in a bowl game after everybody opted out. Like Florida State was down to like walk-ons in the bowl game. So there is some hypocrisy there for Greg Sankey. What do you make of the most recent college football playoff rankings, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing in college football I look at is that we have to start looking at the word fair the same way I do, which is the only fair in life shows up in your town for 2 weeks a year, and it has funnel cakes and Ferris wheels. Indiana has no wins over any team that you could even consider competent. I think they're very good. Kirk Cignetti's a really good coach. Do I think they're the fifth best team in the country? No, I don't. Do I think BYU is the sixth best team in the country? I think they beat a nunnery and a culinary school at some point. I'm not impressed by that. Stop rewarding these mediocre conferences by giving them a guaranteed bye. The Big 12 doesn't deserve a bye. The Pac, whatever it is, doesn't deserve a bye. I'll be honest with you, the ACC doesn't deserve a bye.
Agreed.
That conference is awful. SMU is the second best team in this conference. Miami, to me, is the first. Clemson is a very close third to SMU. None of those teams are going to compete on a national scale. Clemson can't score. Miami and SMU can't tackle or play defense. They go up against the fifth team, Ole Miss, in the SEC. Ole Miss would beat them 52-6. At some point, you have to look at this and go, the best football in college football is played in the SEC.
Yep.
Greg Sankey's not wrong. And you're going to wind up with Boise State and BYU and Indiana because we wanted to be fair. And those teams are going to get throttled by good SEC teams.
And that'll be good for the system because it will show. Like, I don't think we should have zero automatic bids. The only reason why we have the ones we have is to avoid a lawsuit. Jeremy Greene, outstanding work by you at ESPN Draft Nerd, ESPN Asheville, Josh Graham, Sports Hub Triad at Josh Graham Radio. I'll give you the win, Josh, just because you sunned me, and that's a prayer. Although that faux Tiger Woods fist pump, which was awful, nearly took the win away.
I'm dedicating this to Daniel Graham. Shout out to him, baby Daniel.
There you go.
So proud.
Congratulations, Pop.
Thanks, AG.
All right, man. Jeremy, thank you so much. I appreciate both of you. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll rewind if we have time. We'll have time for a rewind. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And every Friday night, FanDuel is giving all customers a bigger payout on select NBA first bets. First bets like who's going to score the first basket, which team will be the first 15 points, so much more. Best of all, you don't have to wait the whole game to see if you win. You're not going to be around all night. You got other things to do. You might be able to win in the first 10 minutes. Friday firsts in the FanDuel app to find your profit boost. FanDuel.com/AGS. Claim your Friday first profit boost today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here. But don't worry, North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance has you covered for all your health insurance needs, including Medicare. And with offices in every county, a trusted, experienced agent is just around the corner, ready to help find a plan that's right for you. Visit ncfbins.com or stop by your local office today. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Some call it overplanning. At Alternative Power, we call it foresight. Be prepared for the next power outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Generac, it's not just a generator, it's a power move. Act now for a free 10-year warranty on a Generac home standby generator. Terms and conditions apply. See more at alternativepower.com. Alternative Power, North Carolina's Generac experts.
According to the latest report on farmland loss in the United States, North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. If you own land that may be converted from agricultural use, the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services may be able to help. Grants for the purchase of development rights are available through the North Carolina Agricultural Development and Farmland Preservation Trust Fund. Landowners can learn more at ncadfp.org.
Did you and your family lose North Carolina Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Psst. Hello there. It's me, your internal clock. Yes, the one you sleep through on weekends. You've probably heard my TikToks, but I'm straight up sounding the bell now. It's almost time to start applying for college. That means you got transcripts to gather, letters of rec to request, and campus tours to schedule. But hey, we got time, and we've got CFNC. CFNC.org can help us plan, apply, and pay for college. We got this, trust me. Just visit CFNC.org to help us stay on time.
It's that time of year to come see me. Don't let COVID-19 and the flu stop you. So make sure you don't have to cancel on those you love the most.
By getting your flu and COVID vaccines. They're safe and effective.
Both flu and COVID vaccines have been updated to fight against new virus strains.
So make sure you don't miss that family gathering and protect those around you. Ask your healthcare provider about updated flu and COVID-19 shots.
Get protected this season with updated COVID-19 and flu shots. Visit myspot.nc.gov and find yours today.
This is Adam Gold.
Dan on Twitter, who you got? Robert Plant or Elvis Presley? That is actually very difficult because I don't want to disrespect Elvis Presley. I think it's Elvis. It's very, very close. And that is an incredible question.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. Thanks to Josh Graham and Jeremy Greene for playing along in the Adam Gold Show Roundtable. We do this every Friday. We try to have a little fun. When Josh is on, we like to make fun of Josh.
There's always usually something.
Yeah.
Today it was the fist pump or whatever that was.
Whatever that was.
I don't know.
Like, I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, because it was a lot more like the Tiger Woods fist bump is, first of all, it's from
right. It's got some
underneath,
oomph.
and it's going up. It's an uppercut.
Yes.
As much as it's a fist bump. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, when he just makes a putt and he just like that, yeah. But a Tiger Woods fist pump. I mean, just look at what he did in the U.S. Open in 2008.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what that was.
You know what it was? The scene in Breakfast Club where Anthony Michael Hall's character finishes writing the essay. Right?
Yeah.
And he's proud of the essay.
Right.
Right? That it was almost like he was giving like a fake punch to his other shoulder.
I know.
Right?
Exactly.
It was a lot closer to that.
Or like his arm was cramping. I was worried about Josh. It might have been a cramp. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure that's not the most quotable movie in history.
Yes.
Breakfast Club, one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah. It's made your list of movies that you've watched, so you know it's like up there. You're with me because I don't watch a lot of movies, so no shade.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's very true.
I don't watch a lot of movies.
I'm very defensive about that because I really don't watch a lot of movies.
People like to point this out when they mention something and then give you a hard time.
They do.
But it's funny because a lot of times I'm like, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. You know who watches a lot of movies? Mike Maniscalco.
Oh.
Mike can quote every movie that's ever been put on a screen.
Oh, man. He's got a movie brain where he
He
can
does.
keep all the quotes and stuff. Oh, man.
All of them. He knows the characters. It is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm in many ways envious of that.
Yeah.
But I can't have a conversation when he starts doing that because I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm gone.
Even
I'm
if it's a
lost.
movie I've seen.
Right.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
All right, we have time. Let's rewind. All right, Taylor Tannebaum and the ACC Network are in Chapel Hill this week. Wake Forest is as well. They will play tomorrow night. North Carolina's trying to win a third consecutive game. Offense looks like it has kicked on a little bit. Certainly Jacoby Criswell has played well. Defense made some big plays in the game, not only at Virginia, but also at Florida State. Florida State, of course, is just horrendous. So I asked Taylor what she'd seen from the Tar Heels last couple of weeks.
I've seen complimentary football, right? Like the offense with Omari and Hampton and then how Jacoby Criswell has come along and the weapons they have at wide receiver and tight end. They've been fine, really, for the duration of the season. It took Criswell a minute to get going, but you would think of being a late transfer in and the third string guy and kind of getting the keys to the car when maybe he didn't expect it or the team didn't expect it. They've held their own. They've scored, and you really do have the best running back, I would say, in the ACC in Omari and Hampton. But the defense hadn't been pulling its weight, and that was what we hoped this year would be different under Jeff Collins. They were really good early on, and then it tapered off, and then you saw the heels of old. And then the last few games since their bye week and since the passing of Tylee Kraft and they had to go through all of that emotionally, you've seen a different defense. Obviously getting pressure on the quarterback, just more sound tackling, playing with confidence. So they're playing off each other, right? And it's not just dependent on one side of the ball to get the job done, which has resulted in wins. And they have a chance here with their schedule to finish with all wins.
Yeah.
And that would be huge this weekend, obviously, for bowl eligibility. Wake Forest is eyeing that too, even though they're sitting at 4. They got to get a couple here down the stretch. But I've just seen a different Carolina team playing with a different belief.
I hope that North Carolina can carry it into this week. I'd like to see them get bowl eligible. Here's the thing. I've said this before about Mack Brown. While I do believe it should end, I believe that he has done a great job at kind of reigniting the program with the North Carolina high school coaches, which under Larry Fedora, for whatever reason, Fedora didn't care. He didn't. It's not like they didn't get some North Carolina players. They got some North Carolina players. When you are, and I'm not trying to say this to be disrespectful to NC State, and Dave Doran, by the way, has done a lot to change this. But when you are the flagship university of the state and more of the national profile, thanks to basketball, in the state, then there are kids who grow up as Tar Heel fans. So you have an automatic in with some of those. But Fedora didn't care about North Carolina high school football. And the sad part is that once you get past the California, Texas, Florida, Georgia group who put more players into the NFL than any other state, North Carolina's next. There's talent in the state. Why would you push that aside? Anyway, Mack Brown has done a good job, a really good job of repairing those relationships. And this particular year, he was great for the university in terms of being the right person to deal with all of the things they had to deal with. You know, when you lose a teammate and you're dealing with the emotions of, 19, 20, 21-year-old guys, man, that's hard. That is so hard. And in many ways, North Carolina is lucky that Mack Brown was here for all of this. All right, final thing for Taylor Tannebaum. What does Clemson need to do? What are they not doing well to get back maybe to where they can make the tournament?
Offensively, I think they've been, for the most part, okay. It's just cleaning up the little things, being better on third down. Cade Klubnik, Eric McLean, and the guys will talk about this a lot, not taking unnecessary sacks, i.e. running out of bounds when you could throw the ball away and now you've lost 10 yards. Right. Little things like that, execution-wise, is important. Continuing the downfield explosive plays, like they cannot revert back to the side-to-side play that we've seen for so many years, and you saw a little bit of that, it feels like, in the last couple of weeks, but continuing to do the little things, and they'll be okay. Feed Phil Maffa. The offensive line is playing significantly better this year, so continuing to do what they do. Defensively, though, bend but don't break, it's kind of been this season, and Dabo Swinney has talked about that. Sometimes it's feast or famine, he's said, with this defense. They've got to shore some things up. The explosive plays were a problem against Louisville, little things like that.
That's Taylor Tannebaum, who joined us earlier. The ACC huddle is going to be over in Chapel Hill. They'll have everything getting underway in the morning, and then, of course, they'll be on throughout the day leading up to Wake Forest and North Carolina. Quick Hurricanes update before we jump out of here. Canes have 2 games this weekend. Looks to be unlikely that Pyotr Kochetkov will play in either of them. Rod Brindamore said today that Kochetkov is doubtful for Saturday. Doesn't mean he's out, but doubtful for Saturday, and they may have to call up a goaltender. Rod's saying that, meaning that he believes they will call up a goaltender. Rod, that's just, if I could read between the lines for Rod. That doesn't mean that goaltender they call up is going to play. We might see Spencer Martin for both games. Ottawa, Saturday, St. Louis, Sunday. The bigger issue for me, and I think for Rod, is that Frederick Anderson went from week to week to way longer today. What happened? Did Freddie have a setback? I don't know. I'll talk to Rod before the game tomorrow, and maybe I'll be able to get some clarity on that. But right now, Anderson is way longer than week to week. It's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been like 2 weeks, 3 weeks since Anderson got hurt.
It's already been a chunk of time.
And I will just say this. The team now misses Auntie Ronta.
Big time.
Because Ronta, who also made of paper mache, if he was 80%,
he'd be out there.
No doubt about it. Now, that's not to say that Frederick Anderson has to play at less than 100%. Freddie has never done that. And everybody knew that going in. Ronta would be there. And I apologize if that hurts some feelings, but I do believe that Auntie Ronta would be playing. And that's, there we go. Victoria, have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you. See you on Monday on the Adam Gold Show.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country, and there's nothing better than Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and half-price appetizers Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. Visit all 5